Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the month. The council has returned, and with us today are a few returning members. I am your host, Proper Jeremy, and I am the president of the Council of Jeremys and a four-time communicator with Frank Gods, the great and powerful. And with us today are Clone Commander Jeremy.
Turn off while you still can. He's illegally president.
We have a new Jeremy joining us today. I was able to get that screenshot in there, and somebody was able to Photoshop a beer mug in his hand, and it has to be one of my personal favorite avatars of any of the Jeremys. Drunk Jeremy is here with us today. Drunk Jeremy.
Oh, hello.
And yes, ladies and gentlemen, what you are hearing is an Irish accent. Yes, drunk Jeremy himself is Irish.
Who's there?
You can't get any better than that.
Thanks for the stereotype.
Who are you?
All right, and we also
my phone.
And we got the vice president of the Council of Jeremys, Force Ghost Jeremy, returning with us today. How are you?
Hello there.
We also got a guy who's been popping on about more streams than I have recently. He warms your heart with the Hallmark Channel. Hallmark Channel, Jeremy, welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Yep. A 10-year veteran, I might add.
World's finest Navy, yes, sir.
And thank you for your service, my friend. And we have another new Jeremy Movie Phone. You might recognize his voice. Say hello.
Hello and welcome to the Council of Jeremys. Why don't you tell me the name of the movie you want to see?
Yes. Can I say it, DJ?
If you know the name of the movie you'd like to see, press 1 now. And yes, clearly it might be the alter ego of the DJD show, because of course he was going to make a parody account and make fun of his favorite little snickerdoodle, Jer Binks, Mario Quartz. So of course I joined in on the fun to make fun of the old big fun guy, Jeremy. Denny sucks and made Alabama lose yet another national championship. You know it.
You had to rub it in. Yes, go ahead.
You should have waited until he slipped out with the fun times had by all. Then he would have outed himself.
Oh
yeah, that would have done it.
That would have done the trick. Oh my goodness.
I have one movie request, but I'm afraid you can't satisfy it for me.
Oh goodness. What?
A good episode 9.
Ooh.
That one is going to be very difficult, but I'm sure the people at the House of Mouse will try their best to poop on all our expectations.
Hey, what's up? We got, speaking of which, we got Puerto Rican Jeremy just joining us. What is up, my friend?
What the fuck are these adjectives?
Yeah, we're going to wait for a second to have him get situated. We have a legendary Jeremy joining us today as well. Jeremy Simmons, who is helping you get yourself into shape with enthusiasm and one of the greatest... the greatest workout videos anybody has ever seen in their life. It's the Whammin' workout creator himself, Jeremy Simmons.
What's up, everybody? This is Jeremy Simmons. For $4.99, you can get your EVS Pie workout with the Whammin' workout program. Today only. Call 1-800-586-2577.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
I'm gonna die that cunt.
And we got, oh man, the guy who has literally been trolling the hell out of me for the past couple of weeks now. He is the savage himself, Thug Life Jeremy. Welcome.
What's up, everyone? I'm Thug Life Jeremy. Just gonna warn you all now, as Proper said, it is his time of the month, so if he's a bit moody, go easy on him.
And hello, we'd like to say hello to people who have joined us today. Three-Eyed Jeremy, hello. Bob Larson, what is up? The Moist Visions Inc. Brandon, you're amazing. Caitlin the Keeper, Jeremy, thank you. Thank you for keeping track of all 225 of us. You are the best, and you're one of the best moderators out there. And
I'll keep an eye on that one.
He's trying to appease Caitlin so she doesn't start the war.
Probably.
You mean he doesn't? I think she already has.
And we got it's a Trap Productions. What's up? Alexander?
It's a trap.
It's a trap.
It's a trap.
And the Mr. P channel is also in the chat. He was part of the first Council of Jeremy's. Welcome to see you around, man. You're awesome. All right, so let's get into. Oh my God! Oh, we got 2 Puerto Rican Jeremys.
Now there are 2 of them.
Jesus Christ.
Now that
we reproduce fast.
Right. Yeah. Hey, what's up, man?
I was trying to get on my computer, but the Google Hangouts thing, it doesn't want to recognize my microphone.
All right. So yeah, that's really strange. Well, anyways, I got rid of the duplicate. So
You mean like the United States doesn't want to recognize you as the 51st state? It's okay, buddy. We know we're here for you.
Yeah, but it's tough, man. What can
Sometimes you have technical difficulties, Papa?
A lot, man. I can't figure it out. I got that snowball microphone like Jeremy has, but it's not working out for me. As far as taxation without representation, no, I don't like it.
Look who we've got in the channel.
Oh, who?
It's Geeks and Gamers.
Hey, what's up, Jeremy? How you doing?
Jeremy.
He just arrived in California just yesterday. He is back. He's always just coming back. Just once a month, he's just got to give us a visit. Us Californians. He's been so
Just
kind.
like a period.
And you've been on a plane.
Proper Jeremy, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm a little bit confused because there was a bit of confusion going out there on the media. Did Jeremy get his flying wings or his red wings?
What?
Oh, for the love of fuck, no.
Oh,
Excuse me.
Let's not go there. This is not that kind of stream. We're not talking about that kind of shit.
I want to talk about this kind of shit. What?
We're just gonna have to wait and see.
I'm just gonna say I don't know what anybody's talking about. Papa?
Well, let's bring up something that just happened recently. So everyone knows about all of that huge kerfuffle that happened with Star Wars Theory and his Vader fan film. For the 4 of you out there who may not know about this, so Star Wars Theory, he made this Vader fan film. It's got 7 million views. He spent $80,000 of his own money making this, and he spoke to Lucasfilm. He made sure that everybody was clear on the terms and conditions of what is to be expected. No monetizing. You can't crowdfund, so basically you have to spend your own money doing all of this, and you can't profit off of it, and all that fun stuff. And so Warner Chappell, under the Walt Disney Company, they step in and they manually monetize the movie because of the Imperial March somewhere being in the film. I have no idea, with the whole specifics.
Well, I'm gonna see it for the first time in a little bit, but I haven't seen it yet. I'm waiting to not spoil myself.
We should do that tonight, actually. We'll bring that up in a little bit, though. But yeah, but then luckily Lucasfilm stepped in and said, Warner Chappell, no, you can't do this. You can't manually monetize it and profit off of somebody else's hard work and effort. And it just seemed like a big slap in the face, in all honesty. And for a lot of people, like a large portion of the fan base outside of the fandom collective or the fandom menace or whatever you want to call it, it just really struck, a really horrible nerve. You know what I mean? It's just something that just did not set well in everyone's stomach. And it was just something that was just so egregious that it was, even I, at this point, would not have expected Lucasfilm to go, or Disney to go to these kind of extremes after a year. of all.
My question
all of
is,
the.
did they-
Hold on a second. Hold on just a second. So after this whole year of nonsense, and just to get to this point where it's just like as I called it, the cherry on the fuck you sundae. But luckily, Lucasfilm did the right thing. They heard us. They stepped in. And they said, no, you can't do this. And they set it back to being demonetized. And the whole situation pretty much resolved itself. And I'd like to ask the panel real quick. So with that being said, with Lucasfilm coming in and doing the right thing, how do you feel about this moving forward? What does this tell you about the future of the communication between us, the fans, and Lucasfilm? Should we still be worried? Is this a step in the right direction? What are your thoughts? And we're going to start with Puerto Rican Jeremy.
Well, I mean, is it the right thing? Wouldn't the right thing would be to let him get at least the ad revenue from it? If it's good, it's free promotion. I don't know if it's the right answer or the wrong answer. I just know that they had no business claiming on it, but I don't understand why it's so wrong for a fan film to, being very, very open about how they funded it, get some money back, man, because it's not, it's not hurting the brand at all. It's helping it.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a very good point. Whoever else wants to chime in, go for it.
I don't think there's much wrong with it, to be honest. I think from a legal standpoint, from a business standpoint, yeah, it makes sense. But, from a moral standpoint, obviously, who was it? Is it Disney or the other company that claimed it?
It was a company it was a music company that was under Disney, Warner Chappell.
I don't think Warner Chappell are under Disney, are they?
No,
they're not. They're not.
Warner,
they own all
has
Disney
nothing.
music, though, don't they?
They're actually owned by the Disney Corporation.
It's a little complicated. A few of us dissected it thoroughly in videos, but it's not quite the popular sentiment. But if you go and dissect it yourselves, it's the actual accurate statement. I know it might be controversial, but you can go look it up for yourselves on the internet. And the easiest way, which should have been, again, it's mentioned in the Newsweek article, which was talked about in Wikipedia, literally 5 minutes. Anyone can just go look at it. The sequence, it says it right there, who actually owns the licensing rights to the song. And that's why it's complicated.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah. Disney were actually mentioned in the copyright claim. It's actually written in black and white. Disney.
Yeah, again, that's why it's complicated with music, because they have to do it certain ways.
Yeah.
No, it's also like the same mess that they made. They made a streaming service, but they didn't have the streaming rights to the OT. So the OT streaming rights are locked up in, I think it was Time Warner, right? That's where the problem is. With
Turner
TBS,
owns his rights.
Turner. Okay, so if they're streaming a song, so Disney made this deal, but they couldn't back it up basically, and they're having to step in because they don't really want to talk about how they gave the most important things you could stream. They give those licenses away for, I don't know, way too little money if you're starting an online service. So yeah, it's a big mess. It's a big mess because of the people in charge, and it just goes to show you the lack of forethought in owning the streaming rights, so that when you give the go ahead to something, you don't have your backroom licensing deals biting you in the butt.
Well, regardless of who knew,
go ahead, Hallmark.
Go ahead.
I think regardless of if everybody, Disney, Lucasfilm, the Warner people, whatever, whether they all knew that about the claim thing or not, I think it was a case of freaking damage control, because they just
that's for sure.
They saw the outrage and they're like, holy shit, backpedal,
And they can't force Time Warner. They can tell Time Warner, please back off, but they sold those streaming rights.
Well, I blame Disney for not responding day one like the National Football League or other organizations would do on day one of a big scandal. That was my only. That's why I roasted Disney just a little bit.
Well, they do deserve it.
You think so?
Well, absolutely. You're going to start the streaming rights, and you give away the streaming rights to the most important thing, and you're trying to make a brand new for-profit streaming rights. You give away the streaming rights to the OT and some of your new stuff. Some of the new stuff they don't have the streaming rights to. Now, in order to foster goodwill, because they have been dicks, they don't want to say they've been, bad people, but they have been. So they're trying to do this thing where they're like, Poe Dameron comes out and say, make your own movies. And they give the go-ahead to this movie. And then because they don't got their crap together when it comes to the streaming rights, they give all this the green light, and they don't know that they're red-lit from somewhere else. Because if Time Warner really has those streaming rights, they can't stop Disney. They can come to an agreement that like, look, this is going to be bad for both of us, or like, let's just let this roll. But it shows the lack of central control on that and management, and why, these things should have been known. Someone should have known about the rights, because the whole go-ahead is about rights. That's what the whole go-ahead was about. So they should have had like a lawyer analyzing that on the first, or just like being careful about, hey, before you strike or whatever goes on, we're giving the green light over here to this fan film, because they knew who has streaming rights.
Yeah, that's I mean, just a little bit of a heads up and a much more clear communication among any of the potential missteps that could possibly happen, I think really should have been crystal clear. But I don't think that, I mean, Disney has like so many different departments and different heads of all these different, side companies.
Yeah,
it's a huge chain of it and everything.
Well. They get
paid
well
I know.
To keep their shit together.
And they should be able to have proper communication with everybody involved. And, like a little unpaid intern nitwit who has no idea, what the heck that might be on the YouTube channels and copyright claiming, whatever. Or could be a greedy executive, whoever it might be. It just doesn't seem like there should be.
I think they're automatic
for this kind of nonsense. And you thought it was a panic, did you say?
I think it's an automatic claim that was manually backed.
Yeah, I think
they're
so.
like, okay, does that sound like it? And they have these algorithms. Yeah, it does sound it. Let me see what it is. It is a remake of the movie or some shit. Let's manually strike it. And then they get a call from Disney. Hey, don't strike that. But that's what we do here at Time Warner. We do this all day in this department.
Yeah, seriously. They probably go through all this stuff all the time. And it's kind of sucks that imagine if Star Wars Theory was a smaller channel, there would be nothing that they could do at all.
Yeah, they've been copyright trolling gaming channels for a while. That's why some of people were upset but happy that they brought this to light. Yeah, specifically Warner Chapel. Yeah,
right.
Wasn't it actually confirmed?
Trigger, right?
What was that?
Sorry, go ahead.
I said, wasn't it actually confirmed that it was a manual strike or claim?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was. Oh, yeah, that had to have been. It's 3 weeks after. The way that's a robot.
Yeah, seriously. So I'm just going to go through and say hello to people in the chat. We have this brazen misogynist, Jeremy. Welcome. Super Divorce.
Oh, God.
Hello, Super Divorce. How are you? Nicholas or Jesse, whoever it might be. Welcome. That is our everybody. If you can't, go subscribe to Super Divorce. He describes the channel as a safe place for all Jeremys. It is our home away from home, as he has described himself. So go check him out. He just streams pretty much every day. And I found it to be very enjoyable. It's very relaxing. And it just, I really enjoyed that channel a lot. Nigerian Prince Jeremy. We're going to have Nigerian Prince Jeremy on sometime. He's on Twitter.
Wakanda forever.
Then there's Meatwad Jeremy. What's up? Bonnie. Hey, Bonnie Burgess. What's up? Go. She just hit 200 subscribers. Go.
Congrats, Bonnie.
Yeah, congratulations. Get her to 300. Let's see if we can do that. Star Wars for Life is here. She is the absolute best.
She's awesome. She sent me a package of a load of stuff from the States to the UK.
What'd she get you?
It was. I don't know if you remember. A while back, I did a meme of Jeremy, and it was Jeremy Potter, and I photoshopped it all with Harry Potter. Anna was Hermione, and
it's an awesome picture.
You are amazing at Photoshop, my friend.
Yeah, so I did that, and then she was like, "Oh, I'm sending you a load of Harry Potter stuff," and she's got these little Harry Potter. I think they're like Christmas tree ornaments, and
Cool.
she sent me those. And there was some little Harry Potter figures, and she sent me some pictures from where she's from. And she'd heard that we're expecting a baby in April, so she sent us some baby clothes, and it's just really nice of her.
Congrats.
And I really thank her very much for that. It's really appreciated.
Yeah, she's a real sweetheart, and she does this out of just the love of her heart, because she really does like this community, and she makes everyone, just feel like they're a part of the community, just in such a great way, and she means it sincerely. I mean, yeah, like she does post a lot, and if you don't know her, it might seem a little weird, but like it is all out of the goodness of her heart, and she's like probably the sweetest lady you could ever possibly meet.
Yeah,
I just downed a fucking naggin.
What was that?
What?
Just down a fucking naggin.
Meet what Jeremy says. It's an honor to be amongst so many fine Jeremys. So, well, thank you. I'm glad that you have joined us. You just joined the ranks just today. You are the 226th Jeremy, if I'm not mistaken. Could be 227. Caitlin, you might.
I mean, he was talking about all the Jeremys except you. So, I mean, you are slightly acceptable.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh god, all the British Jeremys are going to be roasting me today. That's what's going to happen.
Does Jeremy count towards that number?
Yes, indeed, we'll be doing that to you, proper Jeremy. Jeremy from freaking Florida, we gotta roast her. I mean, him. Am I assuming the gender of the Jeremy King? Okay, let me not do that. I'll be quiet now.
No,
you're with your Mario Quartz.
What were you gonna say, Drunk?
Your voice is literally year 6, lad.
Okay.
Okay then. Okay.
Do you mean sex or rape?
Real quick. Oh, sorry, man. Jeremy's
consensual, bro.
He's listening while working. Thank you, Jeremy, for tuning in. And Obi-Wan 27883. Obi-Wan. We met with Jeremy at Disneyland. We rode roller coasters together. That was really fun. And we watched the Alabama game with him, the one that they did win. It was a good game.
They won one. Wow.
They must have not eaten Denny's that day. That explains.
Oh yeah, that's why they won.
Hey, proper.
Yes.
Proper. Would it be racist or misogynist of me to suggest that when Nigerian Prince Jeremy gets to come on?
Don't finish that sentence. Don't finish that sentence.
I was just
gonna suggest that he be accompanied by the Lion King music. The
Yes.
Oh god.
I'm sure that'll upset someone on Twitter.
Oh yeah.
They might have interesting hair colors.
Oh,
I think the mere existence of Nigerian Prince Jeremy will upset someone on Twitter.
Oh.
Just send your hate mail to Hallmark Channel Jeremy in care of YouTube.
Wait. So you're saying that Nigerian Prince Jeremy is not the lead star of Coming to America 2?
No.
Oh my god.
Oh dear Lord, we're gonna have.
Oh my god.
Now.
They're doing Coming to Wakanda now.
Southern Wakanda internet is terrible. I hear from that umbrella guy. I mean, the umbrella guy, his Southern brother.
By the way,
these rednecks that get to go to Wakanda and live over there,
Oh, clearly they're eating through the wires because they got to clean their teeth somehow.
Whoa. No, they have those. They all got those anal beads on their wrists. Foam anal beads. That thing that I don't remember what it's called. I may be using the wrong term, but they had some wonderful thing in their Wakandan bracelets.
Oh god. Meatwad says, I was born today from a Big Mac patty that accidentally got stuffed in with a Chick-fil-A patty. They threw me out the back door. I got out and rolled on over here. Woo!
Where's Chick-fil-A, Jeremy?
That is good. That is some great backstory. I'm not gonna lie. That almost rivals Coconut Jeff. Coconut
Still
Jeff.
laughing at the clean teeth and clean the teeth.
Yes.
Any other did anyone else have any other thoughts on that whole Vader fan film and going forward with the relationship between Lucasfilm?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, okay, go for it.
Okay, well, I mean, the one thing I'm a little bit concerned about is just that if Warner Chappell is going through, I don't know, everything that has to do with Star Wars music, how come they weren't doing it these years prior to all these other like fan films? I mean, does anybody have any reports on that?
They've been doing it for quite a while. I don't know if any of you.
I mean, particularly, I mean, just Star Wars. You know.
Yeah. I don't know if you remember. There's a guy on YouTube, Dash Star Wars. He used to be a big Star Wars YouTuber.
I know
he's
that guy.
From Australia, and he was completely passionate in Star Wars. He was, videos all the time. As soon as The Last Jedi came out, he, like most of us, he just flipped, and he doesn't do any Star Wars videos at all now. And one of the reasons was in the intro to every one of his YouTube videos, he plays like a 2-3 second clip from a Star Wars video game that was on a mobile game that doesn't exist anymore. And Warner copyright striked all his videos and monetized all his videos, and he lost all his revenue. And he just was like, "That's it, I've had enough."
But that was Warner or Lucas?
That was Warner,
because they own the streaming rights.
Yeah, that was Warner Chappell.
Warner Chappell.
And it wasn't even like it's a 2-second clip of a 10-minute video. How about you ratio it and take whatever that 2 seconds of the 10 minutes is, and you can take. No, they took the lot of always, and it really upset him, and I think it completely alienated him from Star Wars, and I think as well as what happened with The Last Jedi. And
he started doing game streams at the end. Near the end, he was doing game streams.
Yeah, I think he works for a gaming.
Unleashed.
Yeah, I think he works for like a software gaming company, and he does a lot of videos about computer games and stuff. And he was, even when the Battlefront games came out, he was doing like live streams from the reveals and things, and being one of the first people playing it live on the internet and stuff. And he was quite in with sort of getting promotions and stuff and getting all the backstage stuff. But then as soon as he got that strike, that was sort of the beginning of the end for him. He still does stuff on YouTube, but there's very, very little Star Wars, if any, stuff that he does now. This is a real shame, because he was a really cool guy.
When are these companies going to learn that the stuff that we sample and put on our videos only helps spread their product around, and I mean, it's like
it doesn't matter.
It's like a spoiled kid. It's like a spoiled kid, and it's like, I mean, they're not playing with their toy, but if you come along and start playing with their toy, they'll come over and take it away from you just because,
Yeah.
Oh, they want to control the message and profit. That's like the two.
But from a PR point of view, it's rubbish.
I was going to talk about it a little bit, but out of the perspective of, I don't know if you guys ever heard of the Anti-Cheese. This was a film that was permitted. I mean, it got a strike, but then it was left back up. I think it was left back up by Lucas before the change. I used to watch it on YouTube all the time. It's a very good movie. I always suggest that fan edition. They changed this guy Jar Jar's voice to like an alien voice. He sounds better. He's less in the film. It's a good edit. But the thing is, Disney had let it go, right? But when all these distribution things got spread out, I think that I think his name is Jeremy Esquire, Jeremy West Coast, he goes by. When it changed hands, he got a big strike, and the films didn't go back up. There was nothing else. You can still find them around if you look, but that was also a shift, and I think that might have been done by Time Warner too. I did not know about the Dash Star Time Warner thing. But I know Time Warner has a reputation for being, a little bit Richardy.
Yeah, that's a very good point. So Blake Hemlow, welcome, Blake. He says the Vader fan film, in my opinion, needs to improve its writing on the screenplay and the scripts.
Well, no spoilers, please.
Okay.
Agreed.
All right. We're not going to spoil it for you. All right.
Without spoilers, can I just say I really disagree with that. I think the script writing was one of the most positive parts of the fan film.
I like what I do. I would like to say, though, that I liked what Star Wars Theory was really trying to do, and I think he accomplished it in many ways. But some of it did kind of look a little out of place a little bit. But I mean, you know what? In all honesty, I mean, it's not soy based, so I mean, it's just like I can't really entirely agree with that. But you know. I mean, but it looked fantastic, and I liked that it had heart and soul put into it, probably more so than any of Disney's Star Wars films. So I gotta give credit where credit's due. But that doesn't mean. But just to clarify, you know, like I'm not shilling for him at all, but I'm also like not going to completely shit on him either because he did a really fantastic job, and I just like the direction with where he wants to go, and I like what he's. Yeah, again, trying to do, and there's only so much that you can do with a limited budget. You know, you know what I'm saying?
If he had the best with what he had.
Yeah, exactly. And could he have done some things different? Sure, but you know what? I thought it was pretty good myself.
Do you think he was a good investment? Like it was, you know what you had.
Absolutely. Absolutely, it was a great, fantastic investment. Worth.
Oh yeah, long term, definitely.
It really helps him in his reputation too, and just generally speaking, I just hope that if he makes a second one, and he's already kind of explained what he wants to do with that, I'm excited about that. But yeah, I'm not going to go any further with that.
And
go ahead, real quick.
Yeah, I think you probably find, although he wasn't allowed to crowdfund any of it, I would imagine there's probably benefactors behind the scene who are helping him out. There must be.
Probably.
Well, he has to be careful with anything like that. That's all I got to say.
Yeah,
because there's certain entities find out. This is just my opinion. I could be wrong. And disclaimer, etc. Allegedly, yes, he has to be careful with it because if certain corporations find out, then they might go after him.
Right,
yeah, but I don't really think there's much.
But yeah, you never know. I don't know. I don't know the laws concerning it exactly. I'm not a lawyer.
Yeah, but I have a question. What's the difference between getting donations to your channel and getting donations to the production? Because that's a very fine line.
Yeah. No, it's quite
channel
clear.
Says
like,
channel, the production says the production.
No, he can't like have a GoFundMe for it specifically. He can't create an Indiegogo for the intentions of.
Yeah, but when he's having those live streams or something like that, and someone puts in a super chat like, "Here's $10 to go towards your film," you know,
well, you can
a very
put
fine
any
line.
message on it. You can put any message on it. And he can say, well, I'm not going to use it for anything specifically, but thank you for the money for donating to our channel and our cause. And as long as you're not specific, it doesn't matter what you say. You can say, I like to, eat dolphins, or you can say anything you want with that message, right?
What kind of a horrible person are you?
We've got to fight against the dolphins. Gail Simone is very dangerous. That's all I'm saying. The fake account, Gail Simone, obviously not. Clearly the lovely, amazing, real Gail Simone. She's a great person. And of course, I'm joking because I'm a parody account.
Look, if we were on like a deserted island and there's no food and you dead, I'm going to eat you too, man. All they're going to find is the bones, the bean, and the franks, man. You got to eat. I mean, I'm just saying.
All right. Okay. Enough with this nonsense. Okay, so Zebulon Pike says, "My God, what have we done? The clones have escaped." And It's a Trap Productions responds, "I told you we should have locked the door." And Super Divorce says, "You never know what the hell is going to happen with the channel these days. It's not by any means clear what's okay and what's not." That's a very good point. You know, there has to be very specific set of standards and rules. I'm sure there are to some degree. Maybe they had Star Wars Theory sign something. I have no idea. But yeah, I mean, it has to be very crystal clear. And, that's why they put a lot of legal jargon in there to get you confused and not understand what the hell exactly it means. But it's sort of, crafted in a way that it benefits more towards the company than anybody else.
Oh,
yeah, it's copyright law pretty much, and it's the way it is because it's to protect him also. Because if any money went to it, then if Disney wanted to, they could have just... Again, it's copyright law concerning certain things so that he can stay transformative. If he puts any money into it, that actually is one of the things they can use against him in the future if they wanted to. So, yeah.
What else did he say?
Money in that way.
There was something else that he said. I think I lost it. Not necessarily the kind of environment that fosters creativity. That is a great point. And Exaggeration Nation. What's up, man? Why?
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, he's a friend of ours. Why doesn't Disney understand that it's okay to pat some of their hardcore fans on the back for representing their products so well? I think pretty much covered that just a few seconds ago. Like that's something that's really.
Well, I think they were giving it a shot. They didn't go out with an apology, but they were giving it a shot. But you're giving me something you don't own. It's like, okay, my buddy here. You know what? Just to make things good between us, take this keys, and this is your car now. Take her for a spin, and then you get stopped because it's a stolen car. It's like, wait, you told me I was good. You know what I'm saying? You can't give me something that's not yours and act like this is an act of good faith. So I kind of get it. I kind of get like maybe there's departmental, there's departments that are not talking to each other, but in the end, someone is getting paid billions of dollars to keep this shit together, this stuff together. So that's why I was going on it. But
it was basically an almighty cock up.
I'm saying you're giving me something that's not yours, and then you're gonna, of course they stepped in. They have to.
Yeah.
I want to say something,
Go ahead.
if I may.
Yeah.
I just find the irony of Disney doing this to people. Basically, when they were the ones who first started out, even with Walt Disney, getting almost sued with Mickey Mouse over a parody that Felix the Cat was based off of.
Yeah, something like that. I don't really know the specifics on. I used to know exactly that, but I can't quite remember the details of that. But could you elaborate on that a little bit? I'm fascinated by this.
Well, there's actually a movie that explains this more. It's called Walt, and it tells you Walt Disney's whole entire life story.
Oh, okay. Is it on Netflix? I think I've seen it.
I think it is. It might still be on there. But basically, it just highlights how after he signed up for the Canadian regiment because he was too young to sign up for the United States, and he went to I believe it was World War I at the time, the Great War. And he gets back, and he's wanting to find himself into a much meaningful life, and he starts doing like these characters and stuff for like a newspaper company or something like that. That's where he gets a start from. But then he starts doing his own like production company with cartooning, and he makes Mickey Mouse. The people that he was originally working for, who made Felix the Cat, where he started learning how to do the animation. Started feeling like that he was copycatting their work with Felix the Cat because of how much the resemblance, I should say, of Mickey Mouse's portrayal and Steamboat Willie and such like that. So I just find there's some irony between.
Yeah, but didn't Steamboat Rabbit?
Yeah, that's what he's talking about.
In there.
Yeah, that was I think that was made in 1920, 1922.
Yeah,
those years.
Yeah.
But, Jeremy's got to run. He said, okay, guys, tweeted this from my personal account and the Geeks and Gamers account. I got to run, but have a great show. I appreciate each and every one of you. We appreciate you, Jeremy. Without you, we wouldn't even be doing this right now. Who knows?
The floodgates have opened.
Oh,
yes,
my goodness.
Indeed. We're pressing the cheat code over and over again, and obviously it's more than just one or two. It's a few numbers, and we're spawning more Jeremys every day. So if anyone else wants to join, you know who you should talk to, either Proper Jeremy or Caitlin. I'm sure they'll love that information.
All you have to do
Come join the fun ranks.
All you have to do is really make an account, and you are a part of the Jer Army, the Jeremys officially. And in order to, if you want to be on a future Council of Jeremys, hit me up on Twitter or on Discord, and somebody's allowed to. Whoever wants to can send the Discord link. Actually, I think I might do that right now. That might lead to bad things and be
exactly. We might spawn more fantastic people wearing costumes.
I mean,
as gently as possible.
That's all fine and dandy. But yeah, anyways, yeah.
Proper was worried about the furry invasion in his Discord, but I think this invasion might be a lot worse.
There is absolutely nothing wrong with anybody in there. But yeah, okay. So I'm gonna generate this. Yeah, I mean everyone is welcome, and we won't get to anything that's been happening recently in the Discord because it is new, and I'm like new to all of this stuff. But here's the link to the Discord right here in the chat. You're all welcome. This might be last thing Jeremy says. We have to do a Council of Jeremy's live stream on Geeks and Gamers when I get done traveling. Proper Jeremy, just stay on me about it. I will. Absolutely.
Hey guys, imagine.
Yes, you've got to stay on his Mario Kart like a rabid dog.
Yeah, I got like.
I still want to fight Jeremy in Halo Reach because I want to kick his fucking ass. I mean, he says Halo Reach is his favorite Halo game. It won't be when I'm done with him.
Halo 3 is the best.
Play that one, man. I missed out there.
I have a bad feeling.
Okay. Oh, Mecha Random is in the chat. She's a friend of ours. She's fantastic. And Mary Vidalis, yay!
Fantastic channels being talked about, one after the other. Yes. Make sure to check them out. Click on their names. It's quite fun.
Yeah, Mary Vidalis is closing in on. I think she's close to 100 subs. Let's get her past that. Let's get her more subs than me. Let's try to do that.
That won't be hard.
That's going to be slightly hard.
I don't think that's how shoutouts work.
I guess so. Well, at any rate, what was that?
Jeremy, have you seen Punisher?
Have I seen The Punisher? I have not.
Have any of you guys seen Punisher season 2?
Not yet. No.
Not yet.
It's on the list. It's on
I saw the first
episode.
I'm not gay.
Before we move on from the Beta fan film,
I don't look at him like that, man. I don't.
What? Yeah, Clone Commander, go ahead.
I don't know about any of you, but obviously I come from a Star Trek background more than a Star Wars background.
Okay.
Get out.
Okay.
In the Star Trek fandom, we have already had something similar with the 4 Years War Axanar fan project.
Yeah, the Axanar thing.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to talk about that? Well, no, actually, you know what, maybe some other time.
Probably everybody knows about it now, but my point is, it was something of a similar situation with the Beta fan film, but Axanar was allowed to crowdfund for it for a limited amount, I think.
Yeah, I remember.
In the end, they ended up using the money they raised for Axanar to spawn off extra projects and make a profit for it.
Mm-hmm.
That was when CBS I think it was CBS. That's when CBS cracked down hard on them and more or less killed the project. It's still going, but it's been hammered so hard it may as well not exist.
But how far does not-for-profit stretch? As long as you're just paying employees and you're not keeping a capital amount of money, it's just going into the project.
They started making a profit and were putting money into other projects. So they did sort of break the rules on that one.
All you got to do to keep it not-for-profit is keep hiring people. As long as you're not running a profit, all you're doing is reinvesting. You're technically a non-profit. All you're giving is, jobs and projects. You're not profiting from the projects. You're just creating jobs.
Sounds right. But at any rate, by the way, everyone in the chat, if you want me to read something, just tag me. Just at Proper Jeremy, and I will read it off. Just so I don't go through and just see and get confused and mixed up with everything. It's not like it's blown up or anything, but just in case if somebody has like a legitimate question, make sure to do that. Like
Hey guys,
something that you
imagine-
really want me to read. Okay.
Imagine a stapler for melons.
Oh, what?
There you go. I
Stapler.
sent you something.
For melons.
Something about melons.
A melon
No.
stapler? Don't staple
No,
melons,
melons.
man.
You know how melons like they roll off tables all the time.
Sometimes. Where are you going?
Jeremy are you?
No, a stapler so they don't roll off the
It's
table.
okay. He's been drinking. It's fine.
This is no,
Oh,
this is no longer drunk Jeremy. This is like high Jeremy.
makes
He's
sense,
been
man.
taking some shit.
Really random thought, Jeremy.
Drunk Jeremy, what were you trying to say?
A stapler for melons.
Is that for making staplers?
Stabler.
What?
Stabler.
Stapler sounds like it
Hey.
makes staples.
Oh,
Hey.
dear God. Oh, dear Lord.
Everyone, I happen to speak drunk Irish. He's saying stabler.
No,
Stabler.
stapler with a P.
What?
You say you speak fluent drunkenese. I disagree, Hallmark. I think you need to take more courses.
There's pink floating melons in the sky. We need to staple them down.
I didn't say I was
That
fluent.
sounds like acid trip, Jeremy.
Did someone
I never claimed to be fluent.
Stapler? Did someone stick my where's my stapler?
I got a staple your
I think it's in
melons.
the office.
Is there?
Excuse me, ma'am. Can I staple your melons?
You don't get any cake either.
No.
Oh,
you
dear
can't do
Lord.
that.
Oh,
Can we staple your melons?
Mary, hey to your kids. Please, be careful about what they hear. This is not intended for young children.
Can I staple your melons?
But shout
Do
out
not
to Mary and her
staple your
kids.
melons out there.
Oh,
You know
my
who you are.
God. Oh.
That's one way to make cleavage.
Don't staple each other's melons either. That's
Cleavage is melon staples.
no.
All right.
Anyway.
On a serious note,
Badger.
I think they should do this fan film stuff like they do, like music, royalties, Yeah, and enable people to like actually make a profit. Just give the
percentage.
owning company, a percentage.
Yeah.
And dude, the Disney or whoever would make freaking mad bank. I mean, just
Yeah. And it keeps everyone happy as well.
Well, that would be the decent thing to do, but you never know these days.
That's true.
Hey man, if they said 10%, there would be people working their ass off to make some really good. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Some
Right.
but it would take control away from them. It would take control away from the story and the narrative that they want to push. So you got to remember, it's not just about the money. It's also about control. I mean, a lot of these decisions have nothing to do with money.
Yeah, they have everything to do with Pablo
That
Hidalgo.
kind of-
That's right.
That kind of brings up a point I wanted to make as well. Like with all the barriers that they put in front of Star Wars Theory, saying like he can't crowdfund, he has to source it all from his own pocket. Do you think that they were purposely just trying to make it difficult for him?
Yes, absolutely.
I don't think they were trying to make it difficult as such as they were trying to cover their own ass. Like I said, going back to the Axanar project, with Axanar, they were allowed to crowdfund for it. And the thing, what they managed to produce, despite the hindrances, was far superior to CBS's current show, Star Trek Discovery.
That's a great transition, by the way, because the season 2 premiere.
I'm not done yet, asshole.
I saw it yesterday.
I'm sorry about that. I just thought it was a great transition. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, Proper would know about transitions
Wait,
since he is a trans
Do we have a
woman.
transition?
Oh my
Jeremy?
Wow.
We apparently have spawned a new Jeremy tonight. Transitioning Jeremy. Congratulations.
I have the avatar. I have the perfect avatar for that.
Sure, he should use Gillette, right? The best thing transitioning to get.
Oh Jesus!
Gillette, the best of man.
Okay, all right.
Make sure to send all mean emails to the Jeremy Movie Phone account on Twitter. JMoviePhone. Yes, go be pissed at that person.
Okay.
You know
Anyways,
why do men get Gillette and women get diamonds? Who made this?
All right. Hey, hold on a second. Clone Commander Jeremy, finish up your points.
Right. My belief is that they didn't prevent Star Wars Theory from crowdfunding more because they wanted him to make a product, make money off of it. It was more that they might have felt if he had a decent budget that he could work from, the project he would have made. Because, I mean, it's obvious that Lucasfilm doesn't think very highly of their fans.
But Lucasfilm didn't strike it. It was Time Warner.
How on earth did you come to that?
All right. Well, at any rate, let's kind of shift gears to that Clone Commander Jeremy. Since you are also a Star Trek fan, you're a big Star Trek fan, as you mentioned. I don't know if you saw the Star Trek Discovery Season 2 premiere that on Doomcog's stream yesterday. I said, jokingly or not jokingly, you can interpret it as you will, but I had said to him on his stream that the Season 2 premiere of Star Trek Discovery is the greatest thing to ever bear the name Star Trek.
Blasphemy.
I just dislike this video.
Someone's gonna have a tentacle visit them, it seems.
Well,
that'll be unleashed by Doom.
That's a triggering test. If you don't cuss, you pass the triggering test. I felt it. I felt it right there in the back.
Well, how do you all feel about the Season 2 premiere? Just how Star Trek Discovery is
Not gonna lie, I've never seen Star Trek, so I have no idea what the fuck you're on about.
I don't really know about it either. But I do know people here and people in the chat have some thoughts about it. So feel free to share with us. Somebody who hasn't really talked much in a while, Force Ghost. What are your feelings on it?
I'll start with 4 words: The Wrath of Khan. That's the best Star Trek thing ever. Anyway, I did actually see the premiere yesterday on Netflix. Yeah, it wasn't bad, to be fair. It was a lot of how back to Captain Pike and the Enterprise. I think they're trying to bring some of the classic stuff back in to try and draw the fans back in, but as an overall episode, it wasn't bad. I don't like the way they've gone with the story, changing the way the Klingons look and things like that. But and there was a nice twist at the end of the first season. It was okay, but not great. So,
Discovery?
Discovery, yeah.
Keep this in mind. If you shorten Star Trek...
And this is why I don't talk about Star Trek on this channel.
Hallmark, we can't hear you at all.
Yeah, you gotta talk a little louder there, buddy.
Hallmark, you're covering your mic.
I thought he swallowed his phone for a minute.
GG.
Okay, well,
there you go.
All right. Yeah, okay. Hallmark, we'll get to you in a second. Then, Clone Commander, what are your feelings on it? Because I know you have a lot to say about it.
Review.
All right then.
Okay, I'll go.
Had to toke. It was too bad. I understand.
I'll go though. I'll go.
You go ahead.
Anybody want me to go? Okay. All right.
I'll go after you.
One word. Incest.
Oh, fuck.
Now I'm interested.
No! I'm afraid.
I forgot about Game of Thrones. STD second season. Yeah.
Oh dear Lord! Yeah.
Okay. First of all, STD is a bad name. It sounds like a sexually transmitted disease.
It's actually called STD.
I think STD is, and here's the thing. Like, I'm gonna give you the perspective of someone that's not watching the series and isn't gonna. These people treat the fans bad, and I can't reward that because they made at some point a good product. You give me a crap sandwich, I'm like, hey, I'm here for the usual hot dogs. No, all we got is this crap sandwich, and if you don't eat this crap sandwich, you're a
all right. If you're gonna laugh that much, you gotta mute your mic, dude.
Yeah, I have to agree. You're making me laugh.
So, these people they give you a crap sandwich. They know it's a crap sandwich. And you say, hey, you know what? I took the crap. I left the same bread, but you know, you still got to eat it, or you're a misogynist. I mean, you know, a lot of these people, they stop losing support. I mean, I understand reviewers got to review, and we should respect the reviewer. When he look, I had to sit through it. I gave my opinion. You know, this is just what I think objectively about this piece, not about how they operate, what they're doing legally, none of that stuff. Just as a piece for itself, it may be good, but there's a lot of stuff that I just skip it because I don't like the way the company is acting, and the way that STV deals with the whole Axonar thing, and the way they deal with the fans is very similar to the things we've seen since Ghostbuster and things like Star Wars, and you know, that's why I don't want to support them, like not give them a view. I'll catch it some other way, you know. But I don't want to give them any credit at all. I'm very much about, you know, not giving them money.
Anyone else have any thoughts on that? Jeremy, Movie Phone?
No, pretty much what I kind of stated earlier. It's not going well for them, and it's the typical crap. I saw some portions of it, but I wasn't able to finish it. So I at some point going to watch the whole thing. But from the amazing garbage I saw at portions that I saw, it's still terrible. They can hope for themselves that it fixes itself over the next couple of episodes, but I highly doubt that, considering the start of it. When
I wish they'd hire the team from Orville to take over. What do you think? What do you think, DJ D? They take that team from Orville and just like take over this thing.
Oh yes, I would love it if the Orville crew, but they'd have to get rid of some people that have some issues with actually doing Star Trek properly in order to pull that off. I'd love that to happen, but again, two corporations, and there's no way it's going to happen. I'm already kind of worried for other things Star Trek related in the future, considering what I may have heard and what's been described in articles. So I'm like, oh God, what are they doing, CBS? Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Well, they've already tried changing tracks. They're trying to make Discovery Season 2 more light-hearted, like the Orville.
Yeah,
but
no.
You think they're trying too hard?
They don't know what they're doing at this point. It's not going well for them.
I wouldn't say they're trying too hard. It's more that they're trying, but they don't have an idea what they're doing. They don't have.
I think they got no respect. They're like, oh, these guys like laughing. Let's throw some laughs in there, but they got no respect. They ain't got no respect for the lore, for the fans, or anything like that. They say they want this. Let's give them what they want without acknowledging like any of their main points. That's what I've heard. Like the timeline is all fucked up. It doesn't make any sense. It's too woke, and they're trying to backtrack, but not admit that they've ever done anything wrong. That's where you get me, because you apologize. I'm like, yeah, okay, we all make mistakes. But when they double down and then like do these stuff, I don't know if anyone agrees with me. But
I completely agree with you. Yeah, just. And, you know, in the times where companies like this, when the fandom is angry about something and they start blaming fans, and they only backtrack when they know that they fucked up, or they try to course correct, and it's only really about the money, it seems like. And that's why I think they're making a Ghostbusters 3. If you guys have heard of that, there was a teaser trailer that was dropped.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, I've seen it.
Yeah, it was the remake. The 2016 one was a box office disaster. It was a bomb. It made a lot of fans angry. It was so bad, they bring back Bill Murray, and then they don't have him as Peter Venkman. They have him as some other guy. They bring back a lot of the surviving, I have to say surviving cast members now, because
Harold Ramis is dead.
Yeah.
Oh my God, why would you ever disrespect that man? But anyways, Harold Ramis, he has passed away, which is really sad. They had to wait.
Yeah.
Are you joking?
Yes,
he's been dead for 4 years. It's actually 5 now.
Wait, hold on. Wait, this is news to you? I'm so sorry that you...
Wow.
Oh my God.
Wasn't there a feud between Bill
Remember
Murray
to properly
and
send the emails to the proper location of the hate mail we might be receiving for this one. Sorry, Ghostbusters fans. Oh God!
Right, but at any rate, it seems like a big course correction just for the money's sake. So that's why we got to vote with our wallets, man. We got to
Okay,
vote.
can I pitch an opening scene? I want to pitch an opening scene to this.
Can I? I'm gonna read the chat real quick, and I'm gonna catch up with that, and then we can do that.
Okay.
Is that cool? All right.
That's
So,
cool. You're the boss.
Mary Vidalis says, "Proper, you're pregnant." I did not.
Oh.
I did not know that. Thank you for telling me.
She wants everyone to know she got you pregnant, Proper.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. There's a whole thing about that. Tina Tomazuski says, "Hail, Proper Jeremy," and has a heart emoji. Oh, I thank you, Tina.
Yes,
very nice of you.
Tina?
Indeed. Hi, Tina. Hail War Campaign. Oh, and also Blade War Campaign. Perfect timing. Blade War Campaign for the Ghostbusters faux pas that happened there.
My
so
goodness.
thank you so much, War Campaign, so we can blame you. Blame War Campaign. There we go. Ghostbusters fans, go. Don't blame the Jeremys. Blame them. And thank
I
you.
have to ask, are you using a voice changer?
No, he's not.
No, that's actually my voice.
That's fucking beautiful.
Wow. I don't know if that's a compliment or not, but I'm afraid.
I'm fine with anything, really.
Maybe it's the vernacular. So I don't really know. Anyways, Nigerian Prince Jeremy says, "Proper, can you read off your credit card details?" Yeah, it's 5487 2730. No, that isn't. No,
now it's also probably a bad idea.
No.
I was about to say, anybody got a piece of paper for this?
No, I think you got to be pretty broke to try that.
Right. Blake Hemlow says, "Proper, are you guys excited for episode 2 of Star Wars Theories Vader fan film?" Yeah, of course I am.
Oh.
Without giving too much away, there's the cliffhanger at the end really leaves a lot up to the imagination, and I thought it was pretty great. Would you guys? No, I'm not going into too much detail of what it is. I'm just like the way that they set it up for a sequel was good. Well done. So to avoid spoilers, we're gonna move on from that. NASCAR
Mace Windu. Spoiler.
Dude.
We're gonna have to blame War Campaign a lot tonight, it seems.
Oh my God!
I don't understand.
Don't worry about
it.
We're done. We're moving on.
I think what we may have to do is just like a 20-minute section or like a 10-minute section or whatever, where everyone who hasn't seen it just mutes for that amount of time, so the rest of us can go off about the film.
Maybe.
I mean, look. The thing is, I ran a fan film show on World Class Bullshitters, like the fan film show part 1.
Hello.
We're doing part 2 tonight, and we're doing it. I was inviting Proper Jeremy to be on it with me. I'm basically like a big supporter of the World Class Bullshitters, and once in a while I get to do a show or two, and that was the plan for today. It's at 9 p.m. Eastern time, and we're gonna watch the fan film. So I've been holding back, just purposely, for that occasion. But I want to invite anyone and the fans that wants to jump over there and watch it. I'll be watching it for the first time, but that wants to watch it again or watch along, that's going to be later on tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
So I'm going to be in the hangout for that?
Yeah, if you want to be, you're in. I'll send you the link.
I'll
tell Jeff to send it to you.
This is breaking news. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight at, you said it was what time?
9 p.m. Eastern.
9 p.m. Eastern. I will
send me the link a while ago. Not the link, the time.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. So me and Puerto Rican Jeremy, aka is it okay if I say it, or
you can call me Sketch?
Yep, Sketch Therapy. We're going to be watching the Vader fan film and a few other Star Wars fan films on World Class Bullshitters on his channel. At 9 p.m. Eastern, I'm going to be on. I'm going to be on World Class Bullshitters. That's going to be so exciting. This is news to everyone. I am so excited about this.
Gotta keep.
You're going to get so much
announcing
pussy
that he's
now,
going to be on has just made sure no one will watch it.
No, it's going to be fabulous.
Sorry, what was that?
Gonna get so much.
What was that, Sketch?
I say you're pretty good on the mic. You've been doing pretty well. I like how you did on the Council of Jeremy's. You've come on to a couple of shows. I think you were on with Jeremy during his long stream, right? He had like a marathon going.
Yeah, he had the 24-hour live stream.
Did you jump on? Did you jump in there at
a couple of times?
Yeah. So you're pretty good on the mic. I'm sure the world, they're gonna say hail to you for Coconut Jeff, and I think it'll be fun. Last time I did it, I think. Do you remember the link I sent you from the last?
Yes, I watched all throughout the fan films. I don't know if I watched like the very end of it because we watched all the films, but I really loved all those films.
You know what? I would have liked to do the show without giving that last one. Just end it on the one before last because the last one was a little bit of a slower pace and it wasn't so good for the end.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
I think there's some good stuff out there. And that's why I want to talk a little bit about Axanar. I think it was good to touch on that because there are similarities in how they treat fans and how should we look at this? When is it fair? When is it not? And all this conversation. It was good. I mean, if you could drop the link for them, the link that I sent you in the chat, they can watch it later or at some point. But
yeah, I'll be sure to do that in just a second.
I had Mike S. Miller and Ivan Ortega on. I have contacted Ivan because he had confirmed, but it was a while ago. I hadn't given him a date yet. So I gave him the date yesterday, and I was trying to confirm with him, but I'm not sure if he's going to make it. But I'm also a fan of fan edits. I'm a big fan, I always say it, of the anti-cheese edition. And I think there is a certain power in the fandom, right? I mean, the more technology advances, the cheaper this stuff gets, the more you can do with less. I think they fear that loss of control.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Now I'm gonna post this in the chat. This is the so it was the fan film watch party part one as it was called. And part 2 will be tonight. So there's the link.
Well, you can hear him say it in the video that he wants to make a part 2. I mean, we talked to it a couple of times. We talked about it on air and all this stuff.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that. So.
Oh,
go ahead. What were you gonna say?
No, I'm just saying that one. Yeah, I remember seeing it. Yeah.
You remember seeing it? It was a good time. It was a good amount of people in the chat, and you guys are all welcome, to come in there and say hi. All the Jeremys, should go by and support members of the High Council like World Class Bullshitters.
All right, so I'm going to quickly read through all of these chats again, just real quick, and then we're gonna move on. NASCAR Jeremy says, "Hey, Force Ghost, can you mute just for a second?" Okay, never mind. You're good now. Caitlin, NASCAR Jeremy says, "Caitlin's old enough to marry is old enough to marry in Alabama." Oh goodness. Why did you make me read that?
Oh, no, don't listen to the minors.
What the fuck? And this is why you read it before you say it, ladies and gentlemen. But, he's a young Jeremy. He's strong and growing. So someday,
this is not here.
Kill stream.
All right.
Oh, yeah. I'm joking. I'm joking. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. You're fine.
It was funny. Oh, my goodness. Star Trek. The real Jeremy says Star Trek Discovery is like proper Jeremy. Oh, that's
if he means full of shit, then I have
sexy.
Right.
It means the gift that keeps on giving.
Oh, good. STD, that's just funny. Caitlin, the keeper, Jeremy says, proper, remember to keep everything below R-rated or I'm coming after you all with my tranquilizer gun. I think we did pretty good so far.
Well, I mean,
very little foul language so far. We've been fine.
I do my best.
CT117 says, hello. Hey, what's up? CT's pretty cool. Caitlin, the keeper Jeremy says, can you remind all the Jeremys of the rules for being a Jeremy account every so often? I'm hoping you remember them. Oh, yes, I remember the rules. Oh, yes. First off, if you make a Jeremy account, either on YouTube or Twitter, make sure that you keep your name the same, just so Caitlin can keep track of all the Jeremys, and don't change it, and provide her with a link to your channel, either via Twitter or however you can. I don't know if there are any other rules with that, just like no duplicate Jeremys, because then that just gets confusing. Like we don't need 8 people named proper Jeremy in the chat.
So just to be a dick, everyone switch your Jeremy account right now.
Oh my!
I'm making a proper Jeremy account when I get out.
Obviously, Proper Jeremy has parody accounts. Also, shout out to Proper Jeremy's Appendix, an amazing person. He's got his own little group of Proper Jeremy parody accounts that he hangs out with. And yes, indeed.
CT says, Clone Commander Jeremy, will Proper Jeremy also do a live stream of a Disney movie as well?
Yeah, I don't know why you asked me.
I don't know. You
could just ask Proper some questions.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, I'd be fine with that. We'll have to set that up in the future. I don't know what my schedule's going to look like in the coming weeks, but I could definitely arrange that for you, man.
Request a musical.
Oh God! Well, if it's a Disney
High School
film,
Musical?
Oh God!
That would be appropriate for Proper Jeremy. Indeed, he could do some singing and dancing with a top hat on.
Oh my God, that sounds horrifying.
Hello,
I'll do it.
Exactly
Hello,
why.
darling.
And there we have Force Ghost Jeremy. That's actually looks pretty good. He's all dressed up and
Hey,
what's
hey, I
going
thought
on,
I
man?
missed the part, you know.
That is
Yeah.
such a meme.
Let's.
Hey, no, it's not a meme. I've got my video on now. Can you see that?
Yep. I think I might.
Yeah,
maybe
looks
it's-
good, man.
That's actually really cool. I really like the look. I like the sunglasses. You got the hat. Do you have the Geeks and Gamers shirt underneath?
No, not today.
Oh
Not
darn!
today.
I'd have mine on, but mine's in the wash. But oh well. But at any rate, so moving forward, there's something else I wanted to bring up. We were talking about this a little earlier. The Ghostbusters 3 trailer, teaser trailer dropped, and we kind of went off on it, but we didn't really touch too much on the details of this whole thing. So after the failure that was Ghostbusters 2016, they go back to where they were all over again. And are you still presenting? Oh goodness, hope not. Okay, we're good. Yeah. So Ghostbusters 3. This is something that Dan Aykroyd had promised many years ago. Actually, since like 1989, after like Ghostbusters 2 came out, and he'd been working on it for 25 years. We got the shit show that was the 2016 Ghostbusters, and now we're back all over again, and they're gonna make a Ghostbusters 3, and they have a director attached and everything. What do you guys think about this? Do you even care anymore at this point?
Is the black guy still alive?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, good.
Go ahead, Thug. What were you gonna say?
Okay, I want to say I think this is a positive thing, and that other film companies should take note, because what they've done is they've actually acknowledged the fact that nobody liked their last fucking film, and they're saying, okay, let's give these people what they actually want to see, a sequel to the original ones, not some fucking stupid bullshit feminist reboot.
I agree. I think it was Bill Murray himself that said the last one was crap. We're not doing that. We're not tying it to that.
Did he say that?
I think it was something
I'm not
like
sure
that.
exactly. The unfortunate part is so far Bill Murray is not in
I'm
Ghostbusters 3.
Paraphrasing.
So hopefully they pull that out, because I might not watch it if he's not in it, because then I won't consider it Ghostbusters, really.
I might not watch it if he is in it.
They're pitching it so that it's a whole bunch of the old cast, like as many people from the old cast as they can get. So they're going back to basics. I think there is a little bit of more of an admittance of a wrong, even if Paul Feig never admits that he's a really bad filmmaker. You know, which I guess it's bad for business or whatever. But he's not. He's not attacking fans. He's not blaming fans for Ghostbusters 3 when they're moving forwards, which is like, a good sign. Don't blame the fan.
Yeah,
okay,
that was. Well, real quick, that was a big mistake that happened. I think that was one of the prime examples of the creator attacking a fan just because their movie sucked and nobody liked it. They said, "Oh, it's not us. It has to be the fans." Of course.
Do you remember
he
how
was
bad?
Do you remember what he said?
Was?
Real quick, dude. I believe they said, and I quote. Well, actually, I'm not going to quote it because it's probably not accurate. But he basically said, like, people who didn't like the Ghostbusters remake were just all Trump supporters. There was
yeah, I remember that.
So yeah, everybody who watched it overseas, yeah, Trump supported Trump voters, yeah, of course, everywhere. Yeah,
it was the Russian bots, wasn't it? Yeah.
No, but like that sort of was one of the things that set off all this crap, and I don't know it just kind of reminds me back then, like they were still doing that. And then what happened like a year later with Star Wars, kind of the same thing when J.J. Abrams said, you didn't like the new Star Wars movies because you're intimidated by women. You're just like all excuses, and it's just awful. Anyone else have some thoughts on this?
Yeah. Did anybody watch the Quarterings video on it?
I don't remember that one. What about it?
Well, he says that the Chinese markets are pretty much going to change the film directly in the film for them, mainly because in China it's kind of like banned to have any reference to ghosts because they're kind of like revered over there. So apparently, instead of them being called ghosts in Ghostbusters, they're going to be called monsters.
Oh,
no, that's
no, that makes no sense.
The title of the film is Ghostbusters.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. It's like
It's not Monster Busters.
exactly. It better be Ghostbusters and ghost referenced, not.
That's a whole new level of stupid. If that's true, I think was there a subtitle that had something to do with it?
I mean, if they're gonna change it, then they can just change it in the Chinese dub or whatever. They're not gonna change the actual English American version to say
just have some
monsters.
Chinese fucking subtitles for them and just keep the English, dub. How hard is it to do that?
That's how they're gonna do it.
Well, they're
they
not
do.
allowed to believe in ghosts. If you talk about believing in ghosts, you get in trouble. That includes the Holy Ghost. They got the whole thing, It's a thing. I mean, I think it's weird. I mean, how am I so weak that what you believe hurts me?
What's the ghost version of woke?
The pink slime, man. It's the pink slime in Ghostbusters 2.
I mean, I don't get it, but they got that social control system. They got that Sesame Seed store
the credit
thing,
system.
so they can't really go into it. They got to do what they told because that's the way it works. If you start talking online like we are, over there it's different. Over there, all of a sudden, you're not allowed to get on the bus. You got to take a bike, or buy a car if you can afford it. Or you might not get that car loan because you've been saying stuff that we don't like. So that's the way it works over there. That's the kind of thing they want over here, so that you can't talk about a product, you can't talk about the state, you can't talk about anything without some consequences. And that's what they're doing, literally.
That's much like Count Dankula. Have you heard about that situation?
Oh, jeez.
Oh, no.
Well,
yeah, I don't know. He got arrested for a dog trick, something like that.
Yeah, he made his dog do a Nazi salute every time he said "Guess the Jews" because why not?
Yeah, but he's calling all Germans dogs.
That's been a while.
Right?
Yeah, well, recently his channel's been demonetized, and every single video, and he's unemployable, so he's literally in threat of being homeless within the next 2 months.
Wow, are you serious? That's horrible.
Yeah,
he took away his crowdfund, right? He had a couple of bucks.
Yeah, Patreon won't. Yeah, not even Patreon will fucking work from because apparently Patreon.
Oh, then that's not good. No.
Yeah.
But the GoFundMe was for legal defense.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Huh. Well,
so it wouldn't cover.
Stephen Walton says Ghostbusters 3 should have been done decades ago, but I'll support it. I mean, okay, you do you. I don't know how I feel about it still, but it is what it is. Mr. Peabody is here. Mr. Peabody is a good friend of mine and DJ D, who's Jeremy Movie Phone. And
yes.
Yes. We are always streaming usually on Fridays in the morning. And we have Fandom Friday, and it's always a lot of fun.
Yep.
And Super Divorce, hello again. How many of you played the 2009 Ghostbusters game? It was written by Aykroyd and Ramis and several others, and featured the voices of the original lineup. Fantastic game. Actually, what I heard about that, I heard that they were going to write. They were writing something called Ghostbusters 3, like Hellbent or something like that, and they were about to have this. It was basically the plot of the game, and it was developed from the script that was originally for Ghostbusters 3. So yeah, have any of you guys played the game?
That was a very good game.
I haven't played it, but I heard what you're saying, that it was like a script that didn't get made into a movie, so they made it again because it was easier with the rights and the acting.
Yeah.
It was a good game.
Okay, so who played it? Who knows the plot? Does it seem like a good plot? Did it have good elements in it? Did you like the story of the game, those who played it?
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
It has been
it has been a while.
But I remember it was good gameplay. It was very close to sort of the original.
I've always been a
the theme to it all.
PlayStation guy, and I think that was on the Xbox. I don't know if they.
No, it was on all the platforms, I believe so.
I think I just skipped it then. I might download it just to have a crack at the script if it's cheap. If it's like a $5 game, I'm like, here you go, take $5.
Yeah, I mean, it'll probably be like $20 used or something if you get that. But if it's download, I don't know. Actually, I don't know if it is because it came out in 2009, so I don't know.
It's pretty old. I mean, they
yeah, it's almost it's gonna be 10 years old. 10 years old this year.
Oh God, the 10-year challenge with Ghostbusters game.
Oh my God, yeah. Like, does it stand the test of time? Is the game still look good? I heard a lot of great things about it though, so I'm not too concerned about it. But I gotta check it out sometime.
They had the new Battlefront for like $5. I think it was
seriously
$3 to $5. Yeah, I think it was like up until last month.
Huh.
I remember because it was cheap. It was so cheap. I was like amazed. And that means with all the downloads, with all the stuff. They had a lot of trouble with that game, and they're trying to get that last squirt out. And it looks like they did that during. I believe it was last week.
The Mr. P channel says, "Oh, sorry. Go ahead, finish up."
No, that's what I was saying. That these people are trying to squeeze that money out, and sometimes the games is a way to go. You got to get that last cent. I did not see the Ghostbusters game, but anybody who remembers the plot, if good, bad, whatever you think, you can say it in the chat for us.
You'd probably find you can look it up on YouTube. There's probably gameplay on there as well. You can probably look up gameplay on YouTube, I reckon.
Oh yeah, the cutscenes. I mean, that might suffice pretty well. I mean, they could have probably. Is there actually a fan edit of all of those cutscenes together?
Oh,
there normally is.
There must be.
I'm gonna have to look that up later then. Huh.
I know Jeremy the Quartering did a playthrough, and that's from him was that I heard that this was supposed to be what they were adapting into a plot. They have a little bit of better attitude towards fan. And I'm not saying I'm completely forgiven as some of the people that are like passionate about it and got insulted. But I can say, well, you know what? This looks like a better direction, the way they're treating the fans.
I agree. Dan Aykroyd was always, he did kind of make promises that were like unfulfilled for the longest time. And, you can criticize him for being, kind of I mean, I have, said before that I think he's, he's kind of an airhead when it comes to that, not fulfilling.
I haven't seen his Twitter.
And no. I don't. It's nothing about that or anything. It's just whenever he goes to the press and he keeps promising, oh yeah, we're gonna write the script, we're gonna do this, and it just hasn't. It's been in development hell for like 25 years, and it's just like he has the right attitude and the mindset, I guess. I mean, but the only thing is, it seems like he's unreliable. Like he's not actually delivering what he keeps saying that he wants to deliver. It could be for a number of reasons.
Could it be a rights issue that he has to announce something and produce something, even if it gets canned?
No, not necessarily. I don't think it's necessarily that. I just think that maybe it's just because they want everything to be perfect. They want things to be right for the fans, I think, but I'm not entirely sure. Also, they need to get Bill Murray in there, and he's probably a huge holdout when it comes to that.
Yeah, for me it is.
I just want to add to that point.
That's not good.
I mean, how many years was 2016 of that development hell? When did that whole thing start?
Probably after Harold Ramis passed, but I'm not entirely sure. They just said, fuck it, we're rebooting, and everyone's going to be returning, not as their old characters, but in cameos, which were all horrible. And they literally brought back Peter Venkman, Bill Murray, not as Peter Venkman, but as some random dude. And I'm not joking, they threw him out of a window. They threw him out of a fucking window in the movie.
So he got Jake Skywalker.
Seriously? Well, he didn't play.
Yes, it was horrifying.
Yeah, but it's not like he was Peter Venkman in that movie. But
he was playing like a skeptic or something, wasn't he?
Yeah, it's but it felt like a not so subtle slap in the face to fans.
Yeah,
in the old movie.
It looked like he was sucking on some space car.
It pissed off people. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a literal lightsaber over the shoulder moment, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah, that's what I kind of felt like it.
It felt a little worse than that because the way they did it.
Humiliation of the old to make way for the new.
Yeah, and that's not how you should do that. You should try to have everybody together and just work off of each other. You know, that's the only thing.
Okay, but did we really expect anything else going into that movie, though?
Well, I don't know. Maybe, based on that trailer that got so many dislikes.
That was the worst trailer ever. That was. So
I think
bad.
it is the most disliked trailer. It might even be in the top 10 most disliked.
It's definitely
YouTube
up
videos.
there. At the time, I think it was in the top 5.
There's that one, the
I might
Justin
be wrong,
Bieber
but
video,
I'll check
and
it.
Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Those are like the 3 most hated.
And then the YouTube Rewind.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that one's going for top.
And then the PewDiePie. Let's get this to 1 million dislikes.
Yeah, but he wanted that. I don't want to count that. That's just him. Like,
That's true.
Oh yeah, subscribe to PewDiePie. Jesus.
Yes, subscribe to PewDiePie. Subscribe to PewDiePie. Caitlin,
Just
if
do
you can
make
get the
sure
link
to
to that, just go
subscribe
put
to
the link in
PewDiePie.
there.
Oh, and it lasagna. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Blake
Most
Hemlow,
disliked videos.
Blake Hemlow says, do you think Kathleen Kennedy, J.J. Abrams, and Ryan Johnson will get fired if Episode 9 fails in theaters?
No.
Well,
No. We can only hope.
J.J. Abrams can't really get fired because he, has already done his job. And
He's already fired once.
and the guy they replaced sucks, so they had to do it again.
Ghostbusters is the 34th most disliked video.
Oh, really?
The trailer is 34.
Oh.
No, so it was top 5. All right.
No, it's top 100. Okay. Well, it's still up there. It's still pretty high up there. Let's go scroll down a little bit. I think that was the last one. The Mr. P channel says ghosts are not allowed in Chinese movies.
Nope. Yeah, I just said that.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. That's what we were discussing about the quartering and them changing the ghosts to monsters. So.
Oh, that's true. And also, I don't understand why people try to pander too much to the Chinese audience and just in the way that just seems like it's kind of forced. You
mean like Kelly Marie Tran being forced into a Star Wars movie?
Yeah, but they don't even utilize it, properly.
I mean, there is a billion people in there.
Well, I know, but then
yeah, but Star Wars. I mean, with the Chinese market, there already was a Chinese guy. He flew his X-wing straight into the fucking Imperial Star Destroyer in Return of the Jedi. There's your Chinese market. It's already been there since the 80s. I don't.
I'm not defending. I'm just giving a reason as to why they're probably doing it. I think it's
it's
stupid,
a lot of money, but you gotta understand that the audience that you're gonna sell it to.
That's
like the Meg. Like the Meg having, a bunch of Chinese people getting eaten by a big ass shark. That was
it's a fish movie. They love fish. They love fish. So fish movies are gonna do wow.
All right, so I got one last.
Who doesn't like Chinese food though?
No, for them it's just. Food.
I love eating Chinese. Yes, Chinese is very tasty.
Are you cannibal or something?
I love eating Chinese too.
So you guys like cats and dogs?
I mean,
Congratulations.
If I find a good girl, I might. But I'm saying, the thing is, I think that you got to look at that market. I got to think it is going into their decisions because it is a lot of money. If you just take the box office, any big movie, look for the top 10 movies that hit the box office in China, and just look at how much money just from China is made. They won't ignore it. They're just going about it wrong. They're assuming that, okay, so Chinese people are racist, so let's put some Asian people in here so they feel at home and get rid of, you know what I'm saying? Cut this guy down, put this guy up because of my prejudiced view of the perspective of these people. I say that this is the type of diversity that will make them feel better about themselves because they got to feel bad about themselves. So I'm going to make this here, right? So you can feel, you know what, a black person, you're so low that you need a fin in the movie to make you feel good.
And what do? They ship them off, and the only people who really affect the quote unquote plot are the white characters.
I'm glad it was
and
the
they just
brown
shove everyone
guy.
else on this random
I
subplot
don't
of nothing.
either. I mean, I'm like I said, I'm my father's black. I'm a mixed person. I don't like it. I don't need your help to make me feel better about myself. I don't need a movie and my place in the movie. If you're gonna make a movie and make it about me feeling give him good lines. How about a plot?
Bro, your dad's black?
Yeah. Well,
that's cool.
Black Puerto Rican and white Puerto Rican. Puerto Ricans, we come in every color.
That was the brown guy that said something about that guy.
Because you have like very pale, freckled, red-haired, black-featured, like red bone women with green eyes, and you'll have like a dark, Celtic-featured, thin cheekbones women.
I don't know where you're going with this, but
we're all very mixed. Is what I'm saying.
No.
I like to mix it up. It's the Jungle Fever Island. If you come over here, you're gonna find out that I'm not kidding. You're gonna find yourself a honey that's gonna be like, yeah,
exactly,
let's get that
the
Jungle
Jeremys. We'll find
The
some
thing
J-Los.
The thing is, they took Finn out of all the posters because they said, well, Chinese people don't like black people.
What?
And then Black Panther
you
was
see-
one of
The
their
haircut.
record
The
breakers.
haircut.
You're joking, right?
Yeah.
There's
I'm not
a few
joking.
interesting articles. That's people.
Okay,
can go
well, I
look,
don't
but
want.
stay
I
on
don't
get
want
YouTube
jump
and
scare
check
whenever
it
they
out
see it.
later.
Yeah, seriously, I don't want to get into that because that sounds horrible. But I mean,
I'll
like,
put some money on the table if you want to make the bet.
I mean, no, I don't want to
Okay.
make any bets.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
people in the chat and in the audience, yeah, you could look this up for yourselves.
Yeah, that's
oh my
why I
goodness.
stated that way because again, YouTube. But yeah,
Yeah, but definitely like check out some other channels before. Yeah,
Their decision making. I'm just talking about their decision making.
No, it's all
Decision
good.
On their
I get you.
preconceptions of people, and that preconception that they have of people is not necessarily true, because I think Jeremy himself talked about this because of the comparison of the Last Jedi, and I think it was not Pacific Rim, Black Panther. I think Black Panther did go money over there, and they let it in. May have got some ghosty stuff, but there was like not a lot of literal ghosts. And
Right.
it just completely destroyed the notion that Chinese people aren't going to go watch black people in a movie. So maybe it was the script.
Perhaps, I believe so. I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows? But anyways, we got 45 likes right now. Smash the like button if you do not mind,
haven't
or
done
the
that.
dislike button if you hate it. Go for it. It's your choice. You could subscribe to the channel. We've been going on for about an hour and a half now. We're gonna probably be on for another 30 minutes or so, depending on how this goes. But yeah, this has been great so far. We got 27 viewers at the moment, and I'm really happy to see each and every single one of you in the chat. And for those who are listening in the future, hello. What's it like over there? I'm really curious. Hopefully I'll find out.
Everything we've done.
Yes,
are we talking
yes.
about Australians again?
Oh God, no. All
'Cause
right.
they're
so-
always in the future.
Yes, and just a reminder, if you want me to, if you guys have any questions in the chat, just remember to tag me in it first, @ProperJeremy, so I will be able to read your chat if you have any questions or comments. Feel free to do so. Sith Lord Luke Skywalker says, do you think if the boycott, made Episode 9 flop because they'll make, I don't understand what he said. Oh, okay. If that fails, and it works, okay. If Episode 9 fails at the box office, becomes a bomb, do you think they'll make Ghostbusters 3 better? Will that make it look better? I think is the question he's trying to say. So if Star Wars Episode 9 fails, like, will fans just be like, oh, well, this sucks, but, Ghostbusters is, they're not yelling at the fans, they're not telling them they're wrong or anything, so we're gonna go over to them. Or has it already been damaged enough?
I think it's
pretty bad.
Okay.
I wouldn't say Episode 9 is necessarily dead on arrival, but it's missing 2 of its limbs. It's got a pacemaker installed.
A lot of people have my attitude. I don't care how good it is. They insulted me. I don't care if it's better than 4 and 5. I'm not gonna watch it. I'm not gonna give them any money because they insulted me and they haven't taken it back, so they ain't getting my money.
Yeah, that's a very good point, but that's that's entirely up to everyone's individual decision. As Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers has said, it's just one of those things where I'm going to do what I want with my money, and I encourage you to do the same. Do what you want with your money. If you liked Episode 8, I wouldn't see any reason why you wouldn't want to see Episode 9. If you think it's going to be good, Go for it.
Both of you.
I would advise if you don't like giving money to people who insult you, don't go see it. If you like to give money to people who insult you, well, go on right ahead. Or if you're a reviewer, if you got a channel and you got to watch it because you got to discuss what happened in it, those, I can understand. Of course, you can do whatever you want. But me, personally, I don't like to give money to people who insult me.
Okay. I mean, that's a fair point.
My advice
yes.
My advice is just for proper Jeremy. Everybody, go and see Cats the Musical.
Oh God! Cats the Musical is going to be amazing, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, I know some people might enjoy it. Odin might enjoy some Cats the Musical. I'm sure he'll sing along, go fine tune.
Is that not Lion King?
But are they coming out at the same time? Is that why the question?
Yes, indeed. It's going to be Pussycats versus Limp Lightsabers. It's going to be amazing.
No, I mean Ghostbusters and Episode 9. Are they coming out at the same time?
No.
Okay.
I know Odin was saying everyone should turn up as dressed in all their Star Wars gear with their cosplay and turn up and just go into Cats and completely ignore the Star Wars theater and just
just stick your smartphone in there and just watch Return of the Jedi on your smartphone as Cats is playing. Put some headphones on, but you pay for Cats. Just pay for Cats.
So Cats is going to the movie theaters. This is new to me.
Yeah, Cats the Musical. It has a really stellar cast too.
Amazing, spectacular cast.
I can't wait for Stomp to come in. I can't wait to Stomp. You guys remember Stomp? The fucking musical where everybody does the little fucking can shit with. Yeah, I can't wait for that.
So you get the Stomp guys, you get the Blue Man group, and you get the Stomp people. You get them all together, and you got these blue men stomping on Cats.
I think we've gotten everybody. Now PETA's coming for our souls. Everybody else. Yay!
Oh, PETA
Blame War campaign.
Animals.
Let's see. Let's actually look at... Go ahead.
And most countries do all day.
Okay, so we're actually going to look at this. Let's look at the cast list for this. Jennifer Hudson's going to be in it. Taylor Swift is going to be in.
Wow.
That's going to drive away. The millennials are going to flock that.
I definitely want to see the Blue Man stomping Cats.
Have you seen? I've seen the Blue Man group. They're amazing.
I know.
They are.
They took over Nickelodeon Studios.
They should have.
So floored.
Who's let Jews into that studio?
The what?
Oh, sorry, I was just being racist. Sorry.
No, nothing. Okay, whatever. James Corden is going to be in it. Ian McKellen. Idris Elba.
Ian McKellen, wow.
Yeah.
He's not going to fit on the fucking stage.
Yeah, Rebel Wilson. Yeah, a really great cast. So, if you want to see Cats the Musical, if you want an alternative to Episode 9, then go see Cats the Musical. I'm really excited for that. What was that?
Going to Star Wars. Just pay for a ticket to go and see Cats and then go into Star Wars.
Let's
sneak in.
The only options.
Let's just say if you should buy a ticket for Cats and somehow accidentally end up in Episode 9.
Yeah. I walked into the. I better stay here now.
I want that in my stuff, collection. Is there any other movies coming out that weekend? Is there anything else out there? Come on, throw me a line here.
It's going to be amazing that weekend.
I'm staying home.
You want me to look up the 2019 in film?
I don't know who's coming. I don't know.
No, those are the only two coming out.
Well,
Jumanji
Pussycats
3
are definitely coming out that weekend.
Oh, there we go. Jumanji. That's why.
Jumanji 3 comes out a week before, so I don't know.
What about Jumanji 2?
I just hold it like RBCC.
Well,
just hold.
That was Welcome to the Jungle. That was a sequel to the first Jumanji. This is a direct. I guess it'll be trilogy now. So, yeah, but that's sort of what that was about.
Did you see the last one?
I did not see the last one, but it's on my list. I heard it was actually a good movie, but I thought it looked cheesy as hell, and I was just like, just seems like kind of like that movie Zathura that came out that was kind of like Jumanji, but it was in space and it was all weird and stuff. And
it looked cheesy as hell, but there was not one actor in it that I didn't like, so I do still plan on watching it at some point.
Yeah,
no,
it is actually
Jumanji,
pretty good.
Jumanji 2.
Shit.
Well, I'm gonna have to check it out then.
But you go with it. Okay, I went with low expectations, and sometimes that helps.
Yeah, or
that might
lowering
help.
your expectations does, but like, I mean, but if it's with the Star Wars movie, obviously not. But I mean, it just depends on the circumstances, I think.
Oh no, but with something like Jumanji, we're not expecting Shakespeare over here from The Rock, or from Jumanji,
Or Kevin Hart.
or Kevin
Jack
Hart.
Black.
You're hoping, okay, you're gonna look at your watch, and then you're gonna look at it again, and about an hour and a half went by, and you're gonna tell yourself, was I entertained the whole time? And then, for a longer time review, you're like, do I remember any of it? Is there anything memorable? And those are like the two things, in my opinion. I didn't stick, but
Also-
I don't remember a lot of it, but I enjoyed the hour and a half.
Okay, go ahead.
Also, thing is, I think we do need a bit of like cheesy, cringy, like sort of stuff at this point. That's why Venom did pretty good. It's why Aquaman's doing pretty good. It's not like that high class produced stuff now.
That's why The Last Jedi did pretty good.
Oh. So Johnny Five says, "Where is Jeremy Five? Is he safe? Is he all right?" I don't know. That's up to you, man. I didn't know there was a Jeremy
We can only
5.
hope.
We can only
Jeremy
hope.
5 is alive.
Bad Meme says that drunk Jeremy sounds pretty sexy. They also
What a
say,
lovely man.
Tell drunk Jeremy. Oh my god! Oh shoot! It bounced. Oh yeah. Tell drunk Jeremy I'd chat him.
He'd chat you?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh,
What a lovely fellow.
Yeah, indeed. Indeed. If okay. I don't know. It could be.
Totally on my
Here's
second
a,
account.
it could be a chick. Who knows?
Here's a
No, it's my
cringy
second
thought.
account.
Here's a cringy thought.
Oh god.
Taylor Swift in a Holdo origin story.
Oh God.
No.
Oh,
God, no, please.
That would
no.
make no money. Nobody would watch that.
Ooh, yeah, seriously. Okay, so this is actually a great one for like this is a great question from Star Wars for Life. What's up? I want
Good question.
No, she does. No, she does. It's actually a really good question. I want to ask all. I want to ask everyone this question. What would it take to bring the fandom together on all sides? I think each of us could probably say something about that. We'll go down the line. Clone Commander Jeremy, go for it.
Make a good movie. Stop attacking the fans. Apologize, though I don't think they will ever.
All right. Short, simple, sweet, to the point. Drunk Jeremy?
What was the question?
Oh, the question was, what would it take to bring the fandom together? What would it take to bring the fandom together on all sides?
On us, does that include the SJW side? Like,
They might.
I didn't get that.
Yeah, I didn't get that either.
does that include like SJWs or just the real fans? Like,
No, everybody, just everybody in general. I mean, of course, you can't unite everybody, but I mean, mostly the people who are just, so divided on each
SJWs are
side.
gonna complain no matter what.
Yeah, but what about the people who are genuinely like The Last Jedi and are just like who don't really like the negativity or whatever they say? Like, if they have legitimate criticisms of this, the Fandom Menace or the Fandom Collective or whatever, I mean, like, what would actually bring these, like, because everyone. A common, like we used to, before The Last Jedi came out, we all used to, gather around, even people who didn't like The Force Awakens were, I mean, I don't know exactly how they felt because I liked it, but I don't remember this kind of divide before The Last Jedi at all. But we were all kind of on the same page. We were all, we all were excited. But what could bring that back? What could bring people together, I guess? What could we all, like, yeah. I guess that might be a better way.
I think make episode 9 into 2 parts for a starter, so you can just, the first part to, basically repair everything that happened in Last Jedi, like retcon it all, like, and then the next part just, I don't know, fucking kill Kylo or some shit. I don't care.
Yeah. Force Ghost?
I would sort of mirror the responses of everyone else. I mean, they need to, I think, retcon The Last Jedi somehow, in a way that's going to keep everyone happy. I don't think they can ignore The Last Jedi, but they need to do something to bring Luke back. I mean, unfortunately, Carrie Fisher's gone. Can they get Harrison Ford involved, whether it be flashbacks or something like that? Because, everyone's going to love seeing the old characters again. They've got to try and do something. You've got the if any of you watched Rebels, you've got the Realm Between Worlds episode where you can sort of go back in time and things. Can they do something like that where Luke doesn't die, he's still alive? We get to see a badass lightsaber battle.
No, it was all a bad dream. All a bad dream.
Yeah, I mean, I've said a couple of times what I would absolutely love to see from a personal point of view. That episode 9 starts with Finn waking up from his injuries, and the whole of episode 8 was just his dream. And we start fresh.
And he's force sensitive. That's why he had that dream of things that might happen. Can
Exactly.
I jump off what he's saying and go on into the subject?
Go for it.
But just
Yes, absolutely.
jump off
Go for it,
saying?
dude.
Okay, so this raises a good point. No matter how happy you can get with the company, let's say Disney does this great apology and says we don't want anything to do with this garbage tier or whatever tier media. What they're saying, they don't represent us. We love all fans, all sexes, straight, gay. They love everybody. And if you have your voice, we don't. If you have your grievances, we understand it. We're not going to attack you for it or label you for it. Let's say we live in a perfect world where that message comes out. You still have the problem of the movie. And how this movie changes the mechanics of the world, changes the lore, changes so many things. So I think, the only canon method to do this is the World Between Worlds, which my friend here was describing. You would have to have a force premonition, and you would have to find like a couple of force-sensitive people to give it to. So you might give it to Luke. Might give it to himself. I know that sounds weird, but that's not what I meant. Right? If you look at Jake Skywalker, he might. But the thing is that he says like you gotta train her better when she comes, change, or you gotta fix that, so that when Rey arrives, it's not Luke in a cave throwing the lightsaber over his shoulder. You get to see him lift that X-wing out of the water and start to repair it. Understand what I'm saying?
I would love to have seen that when they showed it in the trailers, and you saw that X-wing in the water, and it was just like it's going to be like Empire. He's going to show now that he couldn't do it in Empire Strikes Back, but now he's a Jedi Master. He can bring that out the water. R2-D2 was there. He can fix it for him, and
it's such a tease. They teased us. They teased us.
Yeah.
Can I make one complaint about that scene?
Just one?
Sure.
Yeah, just one. You'd think after 30 years, Luke would have learned not to park his X-Wing.
He has a thing about parking in water. I gotta say, you're right about that. He does need to park better.
Yeah, but, he's kind of like Harrison Ford. He can fly it, but fly, yes. Land, no.
Sometimes. And if any of you guys don't know about the World Between Worlds, it's like a thing that can only be activated when you have both sides of the Force, and it lets you go into a space where you can reach different points of time in the Force or something.
It's like another
it would
dimension.
explain why he kept his glove. I mean, if he had been pulled in to the World in Between Worlds by Ezra, then his hand wouldn't fall because he didn't die.
Oh, okay.
I think that's a bit too complicated for Rian
Well,
Johnson to write.
I think it makes sense, but you've also been drinking, so.
He'd be taking pieces
Well,
out of
fuck
what
you.
Filoni did. He'd be taking pieces out of what Filoni did. He wouldn't be writing. He'd be just taking pieces. Yes, you would have to write. Okay, so you reset it. What do you do now? There is that.
Yeah, but like
side
the
of it.
normal people who haven't seen Rebels know that. What are they going to do? Like they can't expect everybody to have seen Rebels. Like.
Well, no, that's the whole. Normal? Well, no. I mean, no. He's just talking about casual. No one here is normal. We're all Jeremys. Of course, we're all kind of weird.
Yeah, how normal can we get?
Yeah, but I mean, I think drunk. You can correct me if you want, but basically, what I think you're trying to say is you're talking about the casual fans. The people who just watch the movies, don't do the TV shows, or know none of the comics, or the EU or any of that stuff. It's just strictly movies. And if you need any of those outside, yeah, exactly. And if you need any of those outside things to explain something in a movie, then your movie is flawed. You have to.
explain it. You absolutely have to explain it, but you just explain it.
They can explain it simply though, because for the people who do just watch the movies and don't care about like TV shows and books on the outside, this is just sci-fi, and time traveling sci-fi is nothing new.
I mean, if you tell people, look, this is not how it should have been. We need to make this right, and you see him give his old self a vision, then you understand. Okay, he can give his past self a vision because you're watching it. This is not a complicated scene to make. I think it would be an overcomplication to say that this couldn't be done because we've all seen Back to the Future. We've all seen time travel movies. This is not a vacuum world where this is the only movie that exists. And I don't think the fans are being serviced by what exists. I don't think it's easier for them to understand what's going on now. And I think what happened makes less sense to any logical, casual viewer. I think it would make more sense to just delete it all, even for the person that had only watched
the extended universe thing. That to me, it still upsets me.
Even if you only watch movies, this is too complicated to explain. No, you just got to do it right.
Yeah, the world between worlds would work, but better yet, firstly, execute Order 66 on Cray Cray KK. Secondly,
that's the only way that'll happen.
Secondly, put Dave Filoni in charge, and thirdly, start over.
I do like him better, but they're not gonna accept that. They're not gonna.
I don't think using the world between worlds would honestly fix it, because even if Luke went back in time to change.
So Holdo was never in charge. There's no Holdo. Or they are around there somewhere, but they don't do these things. The ships can't do this crazy light speed thing. That was just like some crazy force vision. It didn't happen.
That's fair. I mean, that stuff can be changed. It would improve the movie immensely. But you still got the problem that J.J. Abrams set up the idea that Luke was on the island looking for something, and then Rian Johnson came in and shat all over it.
But it doesn't matter, because if you're going back in time, that means anything that has been done can be like.
I think he found it. It's death. I mean, he was just looking to.
Let's get your thoughts on this, Jeremy Simmons.
Okay, well, one, I'm just going to be simple about it. What I think about what Disney should do, and then I'll move on from there. Vault it. Just vault it. Let the OG people, let the ST people, let us all fucking die, and then start over from there. Okay? Then there won't be.
I'm not saying what I want. I'm saying if there's gonna be a movie, this is what I would want from the movie. What I want sounds like what you're saying. What I want is them to.
What I'm trying to say is. What I'm trying to say is that, I mean, Disney has already done the damage it's done. You know, the Pandora's box has already been opened. I mean, you know, it's just like the Solo movie. You know, they've already spent $500 million on two different budgets with two different directors. You know, it's like, what, you're going to backpedal to say that this movie doesn't exist when you've already spent that much investment into it? I don't see Lucasfilm telling Disney that, because Disney's going to be looking at the figures, not going to be looking at the fucking storyline. You know, they don't give a shit. They just want more money out of it. And that's the bottom line of what this is. This is what everything that's being done is a top level thing. You know, that's why I kind of feel like when people talk about Filoni being in charge, I mean, you might argue with me on this point, but Filoni's already done what most people are seeing what happened with the sequel trilogy. I mean, he rewrote the Clone Wars timeline with continuity back before Disney even had any control over it.
Yeah.
And the first thing Disney did was
but he was working with Lucas
halfway. That's the first thing they did. They cooked Filoni. That was like going in the door. First thing they did.
Yeah, and then, you know, he's been following along with Kathleen Kennedy's advisement group ever since then, with Rebels and everything like that. I mean, if he was against it, I mean, I don't know. I mean,
what's he going to say? The last time she came in the door and canceled the show. You think he's going to speak up after that?
Yeah, but look what happened to LucasArts department. I mean, everybody who was part of that got fired, kicked out the door. You know, these are people that Filoni's probably worked with for years. with development and such like that, and you're just going to stand by and let those people you worked with for years just be like, hey, okay, bye, see you later. You know, like I don't see how his involvement being put in the head is basically going to be anything better when he's basically going along with everything what everybody else is saying. It's another yes man situation in my opinion.
I don't think I wouldn't see him as a yes man necessarily. I respectfully disagree. I think that he is doing. I would say he's he's not saying a lot, but I would say he did build a way to get rid of everything JJ did and everything Ryan did. He built.
Okay. What I will say about Filoni, whether or not he is a yes man, whether or not he just goes along with it, the reason people think that having him in charge is a good thing is because he understands Star Wars. He's been working on this. He worked with George. No one in Lucasfilm at the moment, no one in power knows about Star Wars. They're here for a paycheck. He knows Star Wars.
Yeah, he would be the only sane voice, and they probably shoot him down all the time.
Yeah, does anyone else? We haven't heard from Movie Phone or Hallmark too much about this. Why don't you guys give your thoughts on that, and then I'll read some of the chat, and then we'll move on to the final part of the show.
No, pretty much what I've said before. So again, they need to apologize for one. For two, they need to retcon Episode 8 and make a point of stating it, like the kind of way they've stated it, that, things might be changing and there was an outcry from the opposing side. The third point being pretty much they need to open up the extended universe and accept it for what it was. I mean, there is so much lore there that they can tap into. I'm not saying conflict necessarily with what they're doing right now, but at least bring it back into canon instead of just BSing that it's legends. It would open up so many more possibilities, and I'm sure that what might happen in the future, because in its current form, this is not making anyone happy, and they're negating themselves in a lot of good stories, which is what the people want.
That's a very excellent point. And then Hallmark?
Here's the thing about Filoni, okay? You were talking about, like all his friends or whatever getting fired. If I was him, I would be thinking, okay, do I want to say, oh, well, F you, I quit too? Or do I stay around?
Watch this idiot fall.
Stay around, keep moving up the ranks, and then when I have the power, I'll rehire all of my friends.
Yeah, but then once you have the power, can you rehire all the fans you've lost in that 20 years?
Yeah.
I think he could. I think he could.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
You don't think?
I was going to say, I maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm mistaken, and you guys can correct me. But as far as I know, Dave Filoni isn't going nuts on the fans on Twitter and YouTube or whatever.
No, he's pretty smart about that.
So he doesn't, as a person. If Disney is telling me we're getting rid of Ryan and we're putting in Filoni, that seems more like respect than it seems like an insult. I mean, just going by how he treats fans, number one, how he made a loophole to get rid of episode 7 and 8. I got to count that. And how the first thing they did was cucking. It's like maybe he does deserve some recognition, because the reason there was some value in the Star Wars name, not the only reason, but some of that reason is it was going high on the Clone Wars saga. It was a hit. People were liking it. People were all over it, and that's what made it sell at such a high price. But the first thing they did was cut it.
That's just backwards to me. So I'm going to read the chat real quick, and then I'm going to move on.
Proper. Before you do that, can I make one more point about about Disney bringing back? Okay, I really don't think that Disney can fix the fandom, because no matter what they do, whether they if they try and appease us, if they apologize and take into account everything we're saying and make a really good episode 9, then the SJWs and media are going to call them out for it. And if they don't, we're going to call them out for it. And no matter what they do, there's always going to be those fans who are so pissed off and so done.
The SJWs didn't go see Solo, so they don't matter.
Let's just face it. Let's just face it. They've made Star Wars political.
They can't do that.
They've made Star Wars political. They've made parties.
There are fans that will never come back now, and that's just as long as Disney as long as Star Wars is a Disney property, as long as Lucasfilm is Disney, there are fans that will never come back to Star Wars, and I don't think they can fix that. I
Well,
think they've done this damage permanently.
Well,
I'm
Johnny
probably
Five,
the closest to what you're saying, and you got some good points there.
Okay.
I might come back, but they got to do a lot. Some people might never come back. That's true.
Okay, well, at any rate, Johnny Five said there are three sides to the Star Wars fandom: fans who hate The Last Jedi, fans who hate it, like the people who love it, and fake fans who are only in it for the political agenda. Fans
basically political.
Yep, fans can come together. The third party can go F off because they're not real fans, according to Johnny Five. And I think that summed up pretty much what we were saying. Yeah, that's a great that's a great way of saying that. And then Bad Meme says, do a Transformers crossover movie with Star Wars?
No. I'm expecting future insanity has been pretty much explained to me through Skyrim the best.
That's like Darth Vader showing up Infinity War.
Yeah, what the fuck?
I'm expecting that in a future Avengers film, and I won't be shocked. Ewoks with lightsabers riding on the surfboard.
Okay, one at a time.
That may or may not be my account.
Listen, I say Darth Vader. Darth Vader wants the time show so he can get that Padme Poontang. You know he's all about that.
And
Disney owns Star Wars and Marvel, so they could do it. What if
they could definitely do it, but it's just like, should they? I don't think so.
Do you think his dick is just a USB stick or what?
Oh my god!
And there goes we had kept it clean, and then, ladies and gentlemen, we were talking about obviously the Dick Van Dyke show. We're talking about a Disney show, blaming the war campaign, and a few more disclaimers. Oh god!
We tried to go. We've hit the 2-hour mark. We tried 2 hours without having it this way, and now that's all thrown out the window. Thank you.
I've only got one thing to ask. I've only got one thing to ask. Does it come with a Windows update every time it needs to be replugged or recharged?
Yes. Yes, it does.
Okay, all right. Anyways, Mr. Peabody says,
think about the children. Jeez Louise.
All right, anyways, Mr. Peabody says R2 needs to go fetch Luke's X-Wing. And then Johnny Five says, watch Rey pull Luke's X-Wing out of the water for Luke without any practice. Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right. What if, Johnny Five says, what if, like what Luke was looking for turned his mind into, okay, sorry. I got to get to the rest. Damn it, it jumped again.
Rey pulls Luke's X-Wing out of the water, flies to Earth, and teams up with Captain Marvel to make the ultimate feminist movie.
Oh my god!
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's kind of
Don't get Theresa May.
Noob Jeremy. I haven't seen Noob Jeremy before. Welcome. Proper Jeremy seems to be a respectful leader. Oh god, here we go.
This is some bullshit.
I think a lot of Jeremys would highly disagree here.
I'm the leader.
CT117 says, I can understand you guys don't like the way things are going with Star Wars, but you guys don't hate everything Disney. Of course we don't, CT. We've been over this. Nobody here. Does everybody here, like, who here hates all of Disney?
I won't give them money, but there are things I can admit I like. I just won't be contributing in any financial way to them. But there are lots of Disney movies that I've liked in the past. But what they've done with Marvel Comics, what they've done with Lucasfilm, the way that they're going, I'm not down. But that doesn't change the past. They have made great movies.
The Renaissance period of Disney's great, in my opinion.
Yeah, I remember, which is the All Gifts, Beauty and the Beast, the cartoon one, I liked better. The Little Mermaid. I was a kid. I watched all this stuff.
I'm sorry,
I think the reboot, the live action reboots, is just grasping at straws at this point.
I think Toy Story 3 was complete disgrace to the entire Toy Story.
They're doing the Aladdin live action too.
Yeah, it does seem like a lot of reboot and sequels, which is kind of unfortunate because Pixar used to be like the Pixar films were the ones that were coming out of Disney that were just were great original films. Like you had
Cars 2.
What?
Cars 2.
Oh, why did you have to bring that up? I actually don't like any of the Cars movies, but at any rate,
Well, I'm leaving.
The fact that Cars had a spin-off series about fucking planes just really showed the shithole that is the film industry.
It was just called Planes. Like, I mean.
Yeah, and by the way,
it's for the SpongeBob audience, like little kids.
Caitlin, the keeper of Jeremy, says, "I'm coming after all of you with my tranquil." Well, I'm going to try that again.
Okay.
Try it again.
I'm coming after all of you with my tranquilizer gun. Oh, that's horrifying. Please don't. Please don't.
Drunk, you won't need a trank for drunk. Just give him a few more beers and he'll black out.
Yeah,
excuse me.
Shouldn't be short. Too much longer until he ends.
Why do you want me to black out?
At least it won't be like. And this is news for. I gotta tell you something, Hallmark. I gotta get this out of the way. Like, okay, so on the stream that shall not be mentioned, on Mary's, I think you fell asleep.
Oh yeah, Hallmark, you fell asleep on Mary's stream and you was.
Well, it was like 1 a.m. for me, dude.
We heard you snoring and everything.
I'm almost 50. I'm almost 50 years old. Okay, I didn't have my nap that day.
We were just sitting there talking, and we just.
But you had your sponge bath that day, didn't you, buddy?
Yeah. Oh my god, Hallmark is snoring.
Sponge bath day is the best.
Oh my god!
I have to agree.
Yeah.
All right, so there's a couple more I'll get to, and then we'll get. Okay, Black Angus Reviews is here. He said this is weird. I could watch the video live on it. On what? Okay.
You are watching it live.
Oh, you are watching it live. I think.
This is still real.
Yeah.
This is not a virtual reality film.
What are you? An idiot?
I thought it was Memorex.
All right. Okay. And that's about it. Okay. So the last thing I really want to talk about that we were going to talk about on Mary's show, but we just never ended up doing that. So hopefully it's cool if I talk about it here.
No.
So okay. So Lucasfilm has been very adamant on having Episode 9 be the end of the Skywalker saga. It's the end. It's all the end. Okay. So
or is it?
Oh, yeah, I have a theory about this.
Well, okay. So let's just think about this for a second. Let's assume if you were in a scenario where you were in charge of the sequel trilogy, you have 3 movies, and the one thing that you have to do is you have to end the Skywalker saga. Now, I don't know if you can interpret that as ending the bloodline or just ending the 3 trilogies, just having that be its own story and never touching it ever again. You have to just kill off. No Episode 10, nothing at all. You have to end the Skywalker saga. What do you do?
Oh, I'm gonna love this.
Okay, so then we're gonna start with you then.
All right. Okay. All right. Mine's the best. Basically, since Kylo Ren wants to be just like Darth Vader, we're going to do the exact same thing to him. We're going to burn off his Wahoo, and then he can't have any kids, and then that's the end of the Skywalker saga.
That's probably what's going to happen.
Oh God, that's horrifying. You know what? Until Star Wars Theory made that video of just like did he burn off his manhood, I never thought of that.
Obi-Wan just picks up this fucking wang off the ground and gives it to his grandson.
Talk about a weenie roast.
Hey, is Kevin Smith in the chat? Is he going to talk about superhero extremities?
If he's in the chat, he's gonna cry about he transitioned.
I'm sure he's so happy about the robotic attachments.
Well, I mean, Kylo Ren is so swole. I mean, if he gets it chopped off, he just becomes Bruce Jenner. I mean, Caitlyn Jenner.
Kylo Jenner.
Anyways, okay. So what about Jerry Movie Phone? Do you have any suggestions of what you would do? Okay, we'll just move on to Hallmark.
I'm still thinking about the whole freaking weenie roast.
I told you that's one.
All right.
I think he won that one. that point goes to him.
You know, why couldn't we save you for last? Now everyone's just thinking about that.
2 points for Gryffindor, ladies and gentlemen. At least 2 points. The Jeremys are still working on the field. Good stuff with the balls.
Right. Okay. So, anyways, who would like to go?
Okay.
If
I gotta end the saga, I'm gonna do what I said I was gonna do. I go to the world between worlds. I make it so that when he disappeared, he went into the one world within worlds. That's why his arm didn't fall. He retconned 7 and 8, does some kind of badass thing, and you know, it shows like a Force Unleashed level power. If you guys remember that game, they show a lot of power. They show that level of power in Luke. And then you end it. Then he dies in a battle, and you know the torch gets passed on to Rey or Kylo, whoever the fuck. If you're gonna end it, but I don't know. I'd rather kill Rey, make her the bad person, make either Finn or I don't know which one was the one that's saying go ahead make fan films. That was Poe, right? What's his name? Oscar Isaacs.
Yeah.
Make either him or Finn. One of them two has to be a Jedi. It can't just be Rey. So I'm thinking Finn was supposed to be, but they didn't want an interracial couple, so they got him a Chinese girl. Or an Asian girl, my bad. So,
yeah, that's stereotypical right there.
No, because, hey, I think she's from Vietnam. You know, I ain't got nothing against Nam, but, you know.
Hello, Vietnam!
Yeah.
Good morning,
got
Vietnam.
a lot of good porn from
anyway, thank you, Mr. Proper.
The thing is, you know, I think Finn was supposed to be a Jedi, and I think you would, I don't know, make him a Jedi or something, and then it ends. Boom.
All right.
If you gotta end it, if you gotta end the bloodline, but you know, yeah, if you're gonna kill all the Luke Skywalkers, first of all, the saga can be the movies and not necessarily the Skywalkers. But they said specifically the Skywalker, so it's the bloodline. So if you're gonna end the bloodline, you've got to be establishing Rey is not blood, so it has to be killing Kylo, right? So you let him go full bad, maybe let her join him, and have Finn and Poe. Oh, that's gonna lead to. But you know, they have them finish it up and get rid of him.
Okay, and how about someone we haven't heard of from in a while? Force Ghost, Jeremy.
Yeah, I can go. I mean, there's still a lot of unanswered questions from the Force Awakens. That's right. You've still got a lot of unanswered questions. You've got the you know, where did Maz get Luke's lightsaber from? That has never been answered. But there's also a good there's a good theory about the sort of Force dream that Rey has when she picks up the lightsaber in The Force Awakens. A lot of people saying it's her vision. A lot of people, I like the idea of it's the vision actually comes from the lightsaber, and you're actually seeing the story of the lightsaber. And if you actually watch the vision, it makes sense because it starts off with the battle in The Empire Strikes Back with Darth Vader when he loses the lightsaber. That then clips to someone picking something up. Now is that the lightsaber being picked up? Things like that. So that would be really interesting. I still want to know where that lightsaber came from, and also we need to know.
Do you think she's a Luke clone?
I think it's a good theory that she could be a clone. That she could be a Force clone.
I heard that.
It is a theory I've heard of. We need to find. That's my next point. We need to find out a bit more who her parents are, where she came from. The whole idea with the clone came from the scene in The Last Jedi when she's in that cave and it's all the mirrors and there's just the mirror images and all of her. That would make sense that she's a clone because she's one of many.
So basically, she's Star Killer.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. She's been created through the Force or been created, just like they say.
They did it like Jurassic Park. They basically, you know, didn't include the male gene at the right developmental stage, inherently making it a female version.
Exactly, and it's quite an interesting theory, and it makes sense that she doesn't have any real parents. Was she created like Anakin Skywalker was created using the Force? You know, which would explain why she's so powerful with the Force. Is it such a coincidence that she ended up on the same planet as the Millennium Falcon?
Did you see a video on it? I saw a video on that from Generation Tech, and I was like,
I've not seen that one.
Well, if you get a chance, check it out because they go over that a little bit, and they're pretty much on the level of what you're saying. And I think it's an interesting take. I think it is an interesting take. But if you're gonna end the Skywalkers, that means kill her.
Yeah,
Generation Tech is a good channel.
Yeah,
I like it.
But
I like a lot of their stuff.
Okay,
They got
anyways,
another one, Generation. I don't know. They got
all right. Okay. Force Ghost, what were you saying?
Yeah, I mean, is it really a coincidence that she ended up on the same planet as the Millennium Falcon? Is there a backstory there? The whole point when Han Solo says, "Who are you?" and she says, "I'm Rey," he gives her that look, and obviously he was directed to give her that kind of look, like he knows her. Is there a backstory there? Was she rescued or something like that, and that's how she ended up? Maybe she was on the Millennium Falcon, and that's why she ended up there. Was she a stowaway on Millennium Falcon when it got stolen?
But they got
and
a
that's
ship
why
that
it
they
ended up on
show
Jakku.
that's supposedly the ship that drops her off. It looks like
Yeah.
a different ship. Also,
Yeah,
if the ship was lost there, it must have been taken there by someone else, because I
Yeah.
think Han would look at the last place it was.
Yeah, I mean, he said it was. He said it was stolen from
Yeah,
him.
there's
so-
a whole line.
Yeah.
It was stolen by someone, and then stolen by someone else, and then stolen by and
Who stole it from me?
yeah. So it would be quite interesting. Just that backstory there's a lot of openness there that you could fill in, and that would make a lot more sense to the whole story.
He made it. I think he made it. Honestly, J.J. Abrams did this intentionally with Episode 7, just making it just ambiguous enough for people to speculate the hell out of every single detail, and for creative freedom for the person who was doing it next to do what they kind of want with that and see what direction they want to go. And obviously, Rian Johnson was not the right choice to follow J.J. Abrams, but I do think that there were some things that he kind of hinted and alluded towards, but just didn't outright say because, just fill in the gaps. It's just that's just the kind of movies that he makes sometimes. His mystery box method of filmmaking, and now he's got to answer his own questions that he's brought up with Episode 9. Yeah,
but also you're not getting this with Episode 9. You had it after Episode 7. For 8, there was all the theories going around, everyone making videos about it, what their ideas were, and everyone was excited for it. You're not getting that now. Everyone's kind of like, Snoke's dead, Snoke's dead, Luke's dead, Han's dead, Carrie Fisher's dead.
Who's gonna die?
Yeah,
Lando.
What's that?
Lando. Lando.
So there doesn't seem to be the excitement and the enthusiasm anymore that there was for 8. Even when the trailers came out for 8, it was people were enthusiastic because they were good trailers. And now it's kind of like they've really got to pull it out of the bag if they're going to win anyone back, and they're going to win Star Wars fans back. I just don't know how they're going to do it. Rian Johnson just messed it up so much.
Lando died because he got an AI STD.
Yeah.
He got a computer virus.
Oh my god.
So who else would like to chime in on this? Real quick?
Start growing capacitors on your
Clone Commander. I know you wanted to respond to this.
Yeah.
Do you need me to remind you of the question?
Take your time.
No, I know the question. Well, like I said to you on Discord, I've experienced the end of sci-fi franchises like this quite a few times, but with what Lucasfilm has done to it, really, I think they should just end it as quick as they can. It doesn't have to be clean, because we've already had a shit fest with Episode 8.
So just F it, and
they just need to end it quickly, and then if they just have one, take Babylon 5, the final scenes they had, everything was all right again. Then it skipped ahead a few hundred years. Or in Babylon 5's case, it was a few thousand years. You skip ahead and just have this scene of everything in the galaxy being right again. Just have it the scene of the Republic has been rebuilt, trade flourishes in the galaxy, there's life everywhere, people are happy. Just end it.
Leave it so that it's at least 100 years before anybody starts messing around.
Yeah, at least 100 years.
Okay, I mean that's definitely one idea. Who hasn't spoken on this? I don't think
What I wanna say-
Drunk, you want to say something?
Yeah, I think it's going to be incest.
Oh my God! Okay, that's enough. That's enough of you. Oh, wait, Clone,
No
were you
way,
not
lad.
finished yet?
Sorry?
Clone Commander, were you not finished yet?
No, I was done.
Oh, okay. Drunk, do you have any actual suggestions?
No, seriously. You know that time tunnel yoke you're on about? I didn't
But
watch
like
Red Bull.
incest or twincest, how are you saying that Ray was made?
Well, you know Back to the Future Part 1 when he nearly shags his own mother?
Okay, no.
Oh God.
He goes back in time and he accidentally shags
Oh
Anakin's
God, no,
mother.
no.
Drunk, you need to take some time to sober up. You know,
That's force skeet. Yeah, they can't force skeet. It's not. You can do lightning. That's it.
No, he goes back in time and
do
shags
not-
Anakin's mother.
No, he can't force skeet. Force ghosts do not
Well-
force skeet. They can't
Right.
skeet. Can't do it. I know you thought about this, but you can't force
No.
skeet. Joe would have tried it.
Oh.
There's pictures somewhere.
Robert Jeremy.
Right, I'm out.
Yes.
May I ask you something, sir?
Yes, you may.
Is there something else on the chat that you were going to discuss next with everybody?
The last thing that I really wanted to discuss was just sort of to wrap things up because we've gone. It's going to be almost 2.5 hours. This is a fun stream so far. Like, there's a lot more people that came in that I didn't expect, which is kind of nice. We got nearly a full house, which is awesome. Jeremy popped in for a little while and was in the chat, and that was really fun. A lot of familiar faces in there. A lot of great comments that have been made on all of the subject matters. The last thing that I want to give my thoughts on it. So, if I was given the power to make my own my sequel trilogy, but I had to essentially, kill off the, not kill off the Skywalker saga, but I had to end it. I would have had it be about the Skywalker, the bloodline. I'd kind of keep it to that because that's kind of what Star Wars was with the Skywalker saga, and Episode 7 was kind of departing from that, unless Rey turns out to be a Skywalker. We don't know yet, but I would have had Kylo Ren be the main character, and things that happened before Episode 7, like kind of in that flashback that we got from J.J. Abrams when he, destroyed the Jedi Temple and Luke nearly killed him or something. I would have loved to have seen that period of time where you have this conflicted villain, Adam
Jedi
Driver.
Academy?
Yeah, he actually has that. It's something that we wanted to see. I mean, you could have had where everything is fine. And you could have had a scene with Luke, Han, and Leia together. Maybe you could have Lando in there too. He wouldn't be pansexual. There's no L3 or whatever. You just have everything that happened before the Force Awakens, and then you can have some of those events happen too. But mainly, it was just the backstory to Episode 7 seems just so much more interesting than what we actually got. So I would like to see that, and then. If I had to kill off the Skywalkers, I don't know. I'd probably maybe have Finn do it or something. I don't know. Because Finn actually was not a bad character. He had a lot of potential. A stormtrooper who was just kind of raised to do that and to be a part of that, the First Order, and then to go to the Resistance, all that. That was so much more interesting than Rey's backstory, whatever that was, wasn't even explained at all, really. But you know what? At the end of the day, it's just maybe I wouldn't just kill off the Skywalkers because it does kind of leave it, open-ended, I guess. Some characters can still, what happened at the Return of the Jedi. The characters were riding off into the sunset, and everyone lived. You could have said they lived happily ever after, and then what happened with the EU later on, they kind of made up their own stories. Some of it canon, some of it not, and Star Wars Legends is now what it's called, the old EU, and
Yes.
you could have had that was sort of a period where the fans were able to we've already done our movies, now go ahead and make up your own stories. You can have any sort of continuity that you want. Whatever you want to be canon is your canon. You could even have Han Solo dying because of, I remember that there was a comic book where it was him and it was a crossover between like Star Wars and Indiana Jones. So what happened?
Yeah, I remember that.
Falcon, crashed onto Earth, and they're in this forest, and Han gets killed by these savages or something, and then Chewie runs away, and then 100 years later, Han Solo Indiana Jones discovers the Millennium Falcon, sees Han Solo's skeleton, and it's just kind of strange. And Chewie is still alive, and they think he's like the Sasquatch, which is.
I think I saw a version of this, but it was different because it was
Really
he found himself frozen in carbonite. The one I saw, but I don't know if that was a story.
He turned into Indiana Jones.
I mean, maybe, but there's variations, but the point was like you can make whatever you want from it, and I think that if you end the episode 9 kind of like that, I think it'll just make it a little better, not just like shut everything off and just like, all right, there's nothing for you to work for or work with for the rest for forever. It's all shut down. That's just sort of what ending the Skywalker saga kind of sounds like right now, like killing off the bloodline,
letting the open-endedness give flight to the imagination, something like that.
Yeah, that makes it so much more interesting. You know what I mean?
I would totally be down for Finn to be Lando's grandson and somehow be more sensitive and have him.
We got robot Hallmark
antagonist.
We got dial-up. Could you repeat that real quick? We had dial-up Hallmark for a little bit.
How about now?
Oh, it's fine.
Better.
I said I'm totally down with Finn having been Lando's grandson.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
And being the next protagonist.
Yeah, but Lando and Leia?
Yeah, no. I think Finn should have been the protagonist, but instead of Stormtrooper, he should have been a Knight of Ren.
Yeah, and then he distances himself or something like that.
Well, I mean, the Force Awakens hinted massively that Finn was. He was force sensitive. I mean, it's pretty obvious that he was force sensitive, but he didn't know it.
They were going that way, and then they're like, no.
They just shoved him in a casino. That's just ridiculous.
Well, they had to make a strong Asian woman. They couldn't have her be overpowered by a man.
They couldn't.
Yeah, seriously, all the way, he's beaten up all the time in these movies. Like Rey, beats him up in The Force Awakens. Then he's tased by Rose Tico. I mean, Jesus, what's with this abuse towards the black character? Come on.
Also, Rose tasing him was the most fucked up thing ever, because that's either saying that they're not allowed to leave and they'll just be fucking attacked if they leave or whatever. Even though he didn't sign up for the rebellion, he was brought in and he helped them. He was never signed up, and yet she fucking tases him when he tries. But and if it's not mandatory that they're not allowed to leave, then this woman is just psychotically patrolling the escape pods, tasing everybody.
That is pretty messed up. Now that I think about that, any final thoughts on this?
They totally just cuffed every male character in The Last Jedi.
And they shouldn't have. Yeah, you can't. That's one of the things I really didn't like, is that why do you have to bring down one sex to bring up the other? No, it should be like a rising tide, lifts all boats. Why can't we do this together? That's not equality. That's supremacy, and I don't agree with that. I don't like that. I don't want it in my entertainment. I don't go in there just to be lectured on animal rights and and all of that crap. No, I just want a good fun movie that I can enjoy, something awesome, Luke Skywalker kicking ass and taking down the whole First Order with the lightsaber. Thank you very much. That would be amazing. And just in general, just having a great movie and just respecting the characters and the mythology, and just not doing what they did with 8, because it just didn't feel right. But we can talk about we've been talking about The Last Jedi for a whole year now. So I mean, it's just at what point, I mean, maybe it's because it was just so. Was it so much the movie for you guys, or was it I felt like it was more of the? No, never mind. It was definitely the
was the
treatment of the fans afterwards. You know,
it was the way they behaved about it.
Oh, okay.
Anyone can make a bad movie.
It was just bad.
Yeah, it's a bad movie, but there's been bad movies. What made this different was how they reacted. It's also what makes it similar to Axanar and to Ghostbusters 2016.
It was like a Surgeon General warning on a film, and then getting fined because you saw the damn film.
Yeah, exactly.
And then getting a little, slapped around just a little bit. That's what it felt like.
All right, everybody. It's been about 2.5 hours. This has been a great stream. We're about to wrap things up. I'd like to thank everybody who has liked, has disliked, has subscribed to everybody who's on the panel. Clone Commander Jeremy, Drunk Jeremy, Force Ghost Jeremy, Hallmark Channel Jeremy, Jeremy Movie Phone, Jeremy Simmons, Puerto Rican Jeremy, Thug Life Jeremy, and your host, Proper Jeremy. And lots of Jeremys here. There's about 226 or 27 now. This has been incredible, and we all have geeks and gamers to thank for that. And so that's going to be kind of like the last question. So I'm going to go around the panel, and you all can plug whatever you want to plug. But also, I'd like to ask every single one of you, why did you what is it about geeks and gamers that you find appealing? What drew you to them? When did you discover the channel, and what made you create your specific Jeremy account? And we'll start with Thug Life Jeremy.
Okay, so the reason I was drawn to Geeks and Gamers is because after I watched Star Wars, after I watched The Last Jedi, I tried to justify that I liked it. And everyone around me kept telling me, come on, how can you really like this? And I was like, the more I thought about it, I was like, why am I making excuses for this? And I started watching videos from both sides of it. And I just found Geeks and Gamers. And I sort of started to understand. And I've slowly grown more and more into understanding why people really hate this movie. Even if I don't entirely hate it, there are parts that I definitely hate, but I don't think it's a terrible film. But I really understand why people hate it, and I really respect the community that comes around it.
All right, and
Force
Puerto
Awakens,
Rican
you mean, right?
Yep. Puerto Rican Jeremy, how about you? Oh yeah. By the way, Thug Life. Wait, hold on a second, Thug. Why did you create your specific Jeremy account?
I just made my account because there was already 122 Jeremys, and Jeremy mentioned something about being a Thug Life Jeremy, so I made this account. Right timing on a live stream, basically.
Not bad. All right, and Puerto Rican Jeremy.
Yeah, I was kind of like with Jeremy on the whole Force Awakens. It gave me a lot of raised expectations, but when they went bad, it's like it went bad quick. It was there was a lot of politics around it, which I didn't like, and I respected it. I come from High Council. That's where I first heard of him. I talked to a couple of those guys, and I gravitated toward the content. They say, hey, check these guys out. I checked them out. I agree with his take on many things because he doesn't just cover one subject. He covers a little bit of the anime stuff. I like the people they got on that. Covers a little bit of the games. He does a little bit of everything, and he does it with a really honest take. And I think we need honest reviewers, and that's basically what he is. What he is an honest reviewer. You may not agree with him, but you know that that's honestly what he thinks. And because we had so many dishonest reviewers, that's why a lot of people gravitated toward him. That's why I did it. That's for the Puerto Ricans, because I'm Puerto Rican. That's why.
All right, and you got anything to plug?
We're gonna be doing the Star Wars fan film. It's gonna be a watch party for the Vader fan film. I'm gonna have Proper Jeremy on there with me. I'm gonna try to get Doug to Naples. He said he might be busy, maybe not. Definitely Jeff is gonna be there, and it's gonna be at 9 p.m. Eastern today. So if you guys want to watch the film along with us, it's free. It's on YouTube. You can basically watch along with us and chime in the chat and tell us what you think.
All right, and
proper. I forgot to plug something.
Oh, go for it.
Okay. Bonnie Burgess. She does live streams with people from the community. She reached 200 subs, and she is doing a celebration/thank you stream at I think it's 8 p.m. today. So. EST. So everyone go and check that out on her channel.
All right. And we got and also Hallmark Channel, Jeremy. Go ahead.
My love of Star Wars is what actually brought me to Geeks and Gamers. You know, doing a search on YouTube and came across one of his videos and
nice. Similar.
What kept me though is his attitude. You know, like it was already said. You know, he just lays it out there, and you know, like it or lump it. You know, and it's just yeah, I just love his persona,
Honesty,
I guess.
Yeah, he's pretty honest. I love the guy. It's a good guy.
And Hallmarko, what made you create your account specifically?
Well, I was watching one of his live streams, and somebody was giving him crap about watching Christmas movies on Hallmark Channel. Well, I made a comment, you know, like, you know, it takes an alpha male to sit down on the couch with your chihuahuas in a blanket and watch Christmas movies on Hallmark.
Okay.
And so, you know, a couple of other things were said, you know, about it, and he's like, somebody make a Hallmark Channel, Jeremy, and you know, boom, I was on it. So.
All right, and you got anything to plug?
Just check out my meager little channel. I'm doing the plan is to talk about, you know, veteran stuff, news stuff, movies, sports, life in general.
All right, and drunk Jeremy, probably the most improper Jeremy on the panel today, gave us many laughs. Go for it. So drunk Jeremy, what made you? How did you discover Geeks and Gamers, and what made you make this drunk account? I know I had a little bit of involvement in it.
Well, in terms of Geeks and Gamers, I was on YouTube one day and I looked up sexy hairlines, and the first thing that came up, of course, was Geeks and Gamers. So I was like, oh, I'm this sexy hunk. So I subscribed to them.
That's right. Let them know.
And as for the Twitter account, what was it? Oh, yeah, somebody just said, actually, no, I can't remember. No, can't remember. Oh, well.
What did they say?
Chicka wow wow.
Well, what did they say? Sexy hair, we'll do it.
Now, somebody made a picture of, like, Jeremy, and he had all, like, this alcohol in his hand or some shit, and I was like, oh, I'll make a drunk Jeremy account for the crack, and thankfully it wasn't taken, and yeah, here we are.
Oh, yeah. So I think what happened with that is it was in the process of making a video, and I was looking at all the live streams, and then I just took a screenshot of that because in this live stream, he's about to mention a comment that I made a while ago, and I'm going to make a video about this coming up pretty soon. I'm hoping I want to get it out on either Monday or Tuesday. It'll be released sometime in the afternoon, one of those 2 days. I'm trying to upload videos a bit more often too. But anyways, yeah, I took a screenshot of that. I said, like, you look at I'm just going to present you real quick. Like, look at the expression on his face. He made that expression, and I just paused. And I was like, "This is perfect." So yes. I just said, "Somebody
he's a very expressionate individual."
He really is. Just
he looks half dead.
Well, that's a constant with him.
Right.
Now, if you want to see something dead on his head, check out his hair about 2 years ago or a year or something. Oh boy, the sideburns. I'll be quiet.
It's all good. And then yeah, somebody said Photoshop a beer in his hand right now, and then he got the screenshot, and I sent it to him, and with the beer mug in it, and there we go. We have drunk Jeremy, and he happens to be Irish, of course.
Of course he is.
It's just perfection, like.
Right.
And if I may I plug my Twitter and my YouTube account?
Yes, you may. Absolutely.
What was it? I had a Twitter account, but I recently just changed it today because I found an old Twitter account I had that has over 230 followers. So I was like, okay, fuck it. So the handle is bad_meme69. Go follow. I post bad memes. Also go to my YouTube channel. Bad Meme is the one with the white banner. I post bad memes, and subscribe to Beauty
And now we got a Force Ghost, Jeremy.
Hi. Well, if I quickly go back to when I first saw The Last Jedi. It was a real experience because I can remember at the end of The Last Jedi in the movie theater, it was complete and utter silence. I mean, I remember going to Infinity War and everyone stood up and applauded, and I've been to other movies like that, and it was bizarre. I remember going home and thinking, I'm not quite sure what I've seen. I got on YouTube, like I mentioned earlier, I saw people like Dash Star saying, "That's it, I've had it with Star Wars, I've had enough." I'm like, whoa, if he doesn't like it, well, what the hell is going on? And I went and saw it again. And when I saw it again, I realised what other people were saying about it, all the your mama jokes and the whole Holdo thing, and the why didn't she just tell everyone what she was doing, you know? And anyway, so I then was, looking on YouTube for other people. I originally found Ivan Ortega first, and then he was doing some of his re-edits of The Last Jedi, and I was, it's quite cool. I like what he's doing. And he happened to mention, this guy Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, he liked my video. Oh, awesome! And I was like, who is this guy? Who is this Geeks and Gamers? So I looked up Jeremy, and that's how I found him. And I liked what he had to say. And I think, what he's been saying about The Last Jedi mirrors my thoughts, and I think most of our thoughts, and a lot of people's thoughts, is why he's 110,000+ viewers now. And so I've been following ever since. I've had a couple of videos that I've disagreed with him, but with things he said, but the majority of the stuff, I'm pretty much along with what he says, to be fair.
You got to plug anything?
You can find me on Twitter. Just look up Force Ghost Jeremy. I'm also on Instagram as well. You can find me on there. Just look up Force Ghost Jeremy.
All right, and Clone Commander Jeremy.
Oh, it's my turn, is it? Shit. All right. Right. First question was, what? How did I?
Oh yeah. First off, how did you discover Geeks and Gamers? What made you make your Jeremy account? And anything you want to plug?
Right. Well, as it started off, I sort of discovered Geeks and Gamers by accident. I'd been watching World Class Bullshitters for a little while. Then I stumbled across one of the High Councils. I liked what pretty much both Jeremy and Ethan said a lot. So I decided to follow over to their channels. Pretty much, I respect, I don't agree with Jeremy all the time. I mean, he still thinks that J.J. Abrams is a good director. But I respect his honesty and his integrity. And as for how I came to be Clone Commander Jeremy, well, I will admit I've always preferred the prequels to the original trilogy. I know they have their problems. I come from a Star Trek background, so I prefer the more scientific basis that the prequels have, as opposed to the more mystical basis of the original trilogy. Obviously, I've gone back. I do like the original trilogy as well. But how I actually came to be Clone Commander Jeremy was, I believe, on Good Morning Pop Culture one day, Jeff made one offhand remark about Jeremy being taken off the Camino, and the rest is basically history.
Nice. And you got anything to plug?
I would like to plug Mecha Random 42's channel.
Absolutely.
I would like to plug
yes.
Midnight Edge After Dark.
Mm-hmm.
Good call.
I would like
Good call.
The Nerdrotic channel. I would like to plug Doomcock, of course, of Lord DVD.
Yes. Hail. Lord Doom.
I would like to plug all of the Jeremys gathered here.
Yes.
Just to make Caitlin struggle a bit.
Yes, fun times had by all.
All right. And then Jeremy Movie Phone.
Yes, well, as has been unmasked today, I am not well, I'm Jeremy Movie Phone, also known as the DJD Show. As for Jeremy Movie Phone, plugging for him would be his Twitter. If you want to go check that out, it's easy to find. As for me, pretty much, well, I'll say pretty much how this came to be, me finding this amazing little blonde, tiny little Timberlake, Jer, Binks, Mario Quartz. It's been so much fun. It started over a year ago when I was trying to find something else. And of course, he appeared in the search on YouTube. I typed in Geeks and Gamers, and I'm like, what the hell is this thing? I see his logo. You notice it immediately. And then I'm like, okay, let me go check it out. And it's just video after video of not very interesting people that I see this little blonde thing in the corner and I go in and I look and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And then he says some cool things and I go, I'm going to follow him. So about a year ago, the adventure begins, and it's just one amazing video after another, but he doesn't really quite have the gusto that he does now. Now he just really doesn't give a rat's ass. So at a certain point, I don't know, I think it's after Alabama lost yet another national championship somewhere, or lost something. I don't know. He was upset about something, said something stupid. So yes, I admit, I unsubbed him for a period of time. Then he said something I liked, so I resubbed to him. So, I mean, I've told him in his face in a way so he knows the story. And since that point on, the adventure has continued with Jer and Jeremy and all his insane escapades and amazing thumbnails. Yes, I mean, some of the early ones, which I really enjoyed, was the Holly Weird thing and him making one of the early thumbnails. See, his thumbnails really have gotten better since then to now. And the cast around him, I mean, my God, that clown video or whatever the hell that was next to poor Jeremy. So I'm happy he's had the guts. Now, as to why I came into existence, none other than the host of everything, proper goddamn Jeremy. I see he's propering, right? Jeremy is doing, oh, that wouldn't be quite proper. And I'm like, you know what would go compliment this quite well? Well, you know, Mr. Movie Phone from back in the day, and since he does like films, this might work. So I pretty much made it that day. This was early on. I'm shockingly on the first board. Somehow, it's hilarious. So I made it early on, but I tried to keep it as secret as possible so I could still make fun of him nonstop and get away with it, right? But obviously, I am now unmasked, so now he knows who the hell is that freak. Oh, God dang it, it's you, DJD Show. Yes, I've been following you all this time. Still, somewhere, keeping tabs on you. And now there's even more Jeremy jokes. Obviously, Fabio, Jeremy, he's got the slick-backed football player look from some douchebag soccer team. So, yes, I mean, oh, boy, there's some memes with that one. That was a big Hollywood Jeremy. I mean, God, it's infinite. Just look at those pictures. That should spawn a few more Jeremys easily there. So as for plugging me, yeah, just check out the DJD Show. You just type it in and you'll find it immediately. Or if someone's nice enough to put the links to my channel, that'd be cool. Have fun there. Pretty much like I said, I do impressions, do satire, comedy, stuff like that. I make fun of everybody, including Jeremy. There's a few Jeremy videos there actually too, making fun of him and his singing ability and other fun stuff. And let alone the video thing. So yeah.
No matter how you slice it, fun times will be had by all.
Yes, fun times had by all indeed.
Exactly.
So, oh, yes, and obviously, one last thing, plug the entire tribunal. Nerdrotic, Doomcock, Tom, also Midnight's Edge, After Dark, Midnight's Edge, and Mecha Random 42, amazing channels, all four of them. All right, cool. I think I got them all.
What's the name of your channel again?
The DJD Show.
Okay.
Yes.
And also, if you don't know, DJD is actually secretly DJ Killer Keemstar.
Oh, jeez.
Potentially. You never know with me. You just don't know. It's all a possibility. Yes.
Oh, one thing.
Yes.
Can I? Oh, hello, Lethal.
Lethal Lightning has finally joined us.
Oh, it just got thick in here.
Here, I thought I was the last one to say where I came from. Jeez.
Lethal, you're a little late.
Just a little late. It's not like we're wrapping up or anything. Oh wait, yeah.
I fell asleep. I
Oh no, you're fine. Don't worry about it. It's all good. We'll catch you next time. It's not the best time for Aussies, in all honesty. All is good.
They're always in the future.
Yeah, we can blame proper
Yeah.
Jeremy for this one. He chose the worst time for the Australian.
Yeah,
Indeed.
he just did a show right before, and he stayed up all night. It's all good, though. What you hear now, you didn't, as you would say, you're not a cuck.
Here,
No, that's
Australia.
just you, proper.
No,
Who's
that's
Australian?
Lethal Lightning's rules. If you are invited on the show and you say you're going to show up and you don't show up, you're a cuck. Is that
Well,
correct?
you're just a cuck in general, though.
No, I don't.
That's
think
true,
so.
man.
He's Australian.
The proper way to say it in Spanish is cabrón. Say it with me, cabrón.
I can't roll my R's.
There you go. There you go.
I know different Spanish words that probably wouldn't be liked by YouTube if I
So,
said.
yeah, no, please.
Well, that, yeah.
Yeah, well, you know,
Not
for the
this
word
time
for
of
cuck,
day, at
it's
least.
cabrón. Just remember when you know, it really works with Latinos too. You call them a cabrón, they look around, they're like, "Hey, you talking to me?"
That might upset someone, yes, that speaks Spanish, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, don't
They're
say it to a
Australian
stranger. Say only friends. Only say it to friends. Don't say it to a stranger. That might get you in trouble.
Well, real quickly, Jeremy Simmons, if you'd like to tell us the story of Jeremy Simmons, I believe he's the number 2, the number 2 slot on the board of Jeremys. He's the second good man, even though Force Ghost Jeremy is our vice president. This is, I believe, Jeremy Simmons. You were given the position of like the secretary of energy or something, and exercise and health.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, real quickly, how did you discover Geeks and Gamers, and what made you create this account?
Well, for the longest time, I went to YouTube just to watch, creations by people, especially Star Wars stuff. Like I was watching Star Wars Theory before I ever got even into Geeks and Gamers, and when you watch Star Wars Theory, it's surprising who comes up under like recommended. And surprisingly enough, Jeremy came up.
Yes, he is constantly recommended under Star Wars Theory. It's funny like that.
And I click on Jeremy and just listen to him rant and rave about The Last Jedi, and I'm like, oh, this is refreshing. And I sub, and then I end up, he mentions the High Council, and then I end up subbing to Ethan, and then Jeff over at World Class Bullshitters, and then I just end up subbing to Ethan's friends, and so on and so forth. So how I got to become Jeremy Simmons is that one day people were asking Jeremy to take off his hat on one of his usual videos. And he says that, I don't want to take off my hat, because if I take off my hat, you're just going to see nothing but fro. It's just going to look like this big blob of hair. Looks like an afro on a white guy. And I'm just like, wait a minute. Who's a white guy who's got an afro here? And then it's just like, oh my god, Richard Simmons. And I was like, and then I look at Richard Simmons, and then I get a profile pic of Jeremy off his, latest D-Day Cobra Twitter, and I'd actually match up a perfect picture alignment of his facial structure to Jeremy Simmons, and I'm just like, oh, it's the most perfect creation. But then I'm like, okay, but how do I connect Jeremy Simmons to Jeremy? And I'm just like, okay, what's the thing that Richard Simmons does? He does exercise programs with women, and Jeremy says wham, and I'm just like, oh, wham and workout. So I put wham and workout over top of this glittered shirt of Richard Simmons. It's got Jeremy's face photoshopped over it, and then Jeremy Simmons is born. Now later on, when I have this, then Jeremy is wearing this pink shirt, right? And he's like, real men wear pink. And I'm just like, oh, I'm going to make you pay for that one, buddy. So basically, I find this picture of Christopher Nolan, his number one super fanboy crush director he talks about so much. And I just colored Christopher Nolan's shirt that's already cream into this pink color. And then I find this picture of Richard Simmons, where, like he's got the little finger on the lip, like he's all playing cutesy, and it's basically like real men wear salmon, because I think he didn't say pink, he said real men wear salmon. And then I post that on the Jeremy Simmons Twitter page, and I tag D-Day Cobra, and Stephanie I forget her last name. It's something catchy.
Stephanie B.
Yeah, she sees it. She sees it, and she says, "Oh my god, who made this?" And then here comes Jeremy at D-Day Cover, and he's like, "Oh my god."
It's pretty bad. I mean, pretty good, but pretty good troll.
Yeah, that is some brilliant trolling.
got him.
Okay, so
I'll plug it. I'll plug the things I want to plug, and then I'll end it there.
Right.
I am a actual website owner of a geek collectible toy, everything you could think of that involves Star Wars, Star Trek, any sci-fi thing you name it. It's primegeekcollectors.com. We also have a Twitter page at Prime Geeks, and I'm also known as Jay Simmons Workout at Twitter. So you can find me there. And at my own website, Prime Geeks, I'm known as Raven Eye. I'm the administrator. Unlike Twitter or Facebook, who likes to ban you for your opinion, my forum will not. We have moderators who will not subjugate your opinions or basically delete anything you say. Just keep it straightforward. Don't rant, but your opinion is noted and it is accepted diligently. So, if you guys want to join, it's up to you.
And that is a great, attitude to have. You want to I think you're able to link it in the chat, maybe. Well, I'm not sure. I'll link it in the description. We can talk afterwards.
All right. There we go. I'll go check it out for sure.
So Lethal Lightning. Nice of you to finally join us.
So
yeah, well, better late than never, but we are just about to wrap up. So I guess I could give you a little bit of time. It's all good. We're approaching the 3-hour mark, but that's okay. That's totally fine. But I would like to ask you, Lethal, if you'd like to go into detail, that's fine. You didn't really get to talk at all, but it's great to have you here nonetheless. Better late than never. So the question that was being asked was just how did you discover Geeks and Gamers and this whole and for you, I guess we'll just kind of modify it. How did you discover this community, the Fandom Menace, Fandom Collective? What inspired you to create your channel? And what did you think about what did you think of this whole Jer Army thing that's going on, all of these clones? What was your initial reaction to all of it?
All right.
That was a few questions. Sorry about that.
Yeah, let's go for that one at a time. I did just wake up and I'm a bit hungover from my own live stream, so please bear with me.
Oh, you're good. Yeah.
I discovered Geeks and Gamers. He uploaded a video before Last Jedi came out. He was at some con somewhere, and he was being interviewed, and I think he was around like 800, 700 subs or something at the time. And it was just an interview at a con, just talking about shit, really. I can't even remember. And I thought, yeah, fuck it. I'll subscribe to this dude. This seems cool. So I gave that a go. And that was on a different YouTube account. And then that was how I found him. And what was the next question? Sorry, can we do this one at a time?
What did you think of what made you create since you mentioned that it was on a different account, what made you create Lethal Lightning? What was your initial inception of it, and what do you want it to sort of like a plug? What do you want it to continue being in the future?
Well, I first made this account in November 2017, and it was originally just pure gaming channel. And then along the lines, sounds a bit of an arsehole here, but I have pretty good Star Wars knowledge. I've read a lot of novels and comics and shit like that. And I just had a general love for pop culture. It's all my shit, really. I read a lot of comics and all that crap. And then along the lines, I just found my videos were just talking more and more about that stuff. And it got to the point where I said, fuck it. And I just deleted all my gaming videos and just focused on that completely. But yeah, that's what Lethal Lightning is. The opinion from an Australian who knows his shit and is always up for conversations and will probably disagree with you on a lot of things, but won't call you a misogynist.
Well, that's very nice of you.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
And now that we got you here, the real Jeremy says Lethal deserves a Pringle can because he was late.
Oh well. I'm gonna not touch that subject, and Lethal knows why.
Oh yeah, no,
There's
that's
something
an
in this
inside
gear.
joke. We're
You
gonna
don't
leave it at
wanna
that.
Touch the
May-
Pringles can. No.
To be fair, that
may
whole
I-
joke was
may
kind of my
I,
fault.
Sensors detect a double entendre. What's going on here?
Oh, okay.
May I know-
we'll explain. We'll explain afterwards. We'll explain when we go off air.
It's
But,
a
May I
good
know-
story.
It's a great story. And Lethal, what was your initial What was your reaction to all of this army, and all these Jeremy clones coming about? And what was your initial thoughts about it? And looking back, seeing how it's grown and become, what do you think of it like now? I guess it's like how crazy it is from an outsider perspective.
Well, do you see how quick it took off, man? There was no time to think about it. It was get on board or get out of the way, man. First there was like 2 of yous, and then all of a sudden there's like 200 of yous, man. This happened like that, and they just kept popping up and up. Pretty much every day I wake up. If I was to go on Twitter, check the notifications, I'll be followed by another Jeremy account. It's just normal at this stage. It's weird if there isn't one.
Yeah, it's not a complete day if another one isn't following Lethal Lightning on Twitter.
If
you haven't, go and do that immediately.
Yeah, do that. You'll see me retweeting a lot of stuff, making fun of a lot of dumb people.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you were to make a Jeremy account, what would you make it? How would you do it?
Down Under Jeremy, Lethal
Go with
Jeremy,
Raiden. Raiden has Lightning. Raiden.
Jeremy Lightning,
Thor Jeremy.
Jeremy touches your sister.
Oh my god.
Jeremy's
I can
fingers.
get behind that.
Jeremy's fingers where they don't belong.
I would get with Kathleen Kennedy, Jeremy.
I've banged Kathleen Kennedy, Jeremy.
There is a Jeremy Kennedy, actually.
Well, that's kind of awkward, isn't it? For me, anyway.
Just slightly.
We all know Leaf wants to make Raylo Jeremy.
That's just disgusting. It's way too early for that shit, man. Come on.
And what makes this appealing to you from an outsider's perspective? What is appealing to all the Jeremys? And yeah,
the actual effort that go into making these pictures, man. I mean,
yeah, look at Fourth Ghost Jeremy. Look at this.
The hallmarks, editing the hat and all that. That's not the easiest thing to do.
I went for literal this is what Puerto Ricans usually have in their car. So if you look at a Puerto Rican car, this is what it's going to look like, especially a Puerto Rican that's not in Puerto Rico, because we're all about the flag when we leave the kind of state. When we're here, we don't use it so much.
Clone Commander Jeremy, that's a good edit. All of these are good edits, man.
I have to give credit to Caitlin. She is the one that duded up the picture for me.
Oh, did she?
Really?
For nothing. She.
Sorry about that.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. We got that. Yeah. Okay. So.
Johnny 5 has a good one. Yeah, I'd probably be Gary Sue Jeremy because I'm pretty close to perfect.
Photoshop him with the weird side face, with oh no, it could be the show where Ray's just I don't know, trading. I guess swinging around the lightsaber. That'd be kind of cool. Gary Stu Jeremy.
Pringles Jeremy.
I think there might be one. I don't know.
Pringles Jeremy?
Oh god, no, not a Pringles Jeremy. No, enough. Now I'm not going to be able to eat Pringles.
Actually, if I remember,
I'm not going to be able to eat Pringles ever again.
All you gotta do is take his face and put it on a rig.
Well, at any rate, my name is proper Jeremy, and I discovered Geeks and Gamers about a year ago in January after I saw that disaster that was The Last Jedi. I just wanted to have somebody who just said it straight up how they felt, because it seemed as though people some people on Screen Junkies or maybe not them as much, but definitely Collider and all these other places. All these shills are just bending over backwards for Disney, and it just seemed like that they were. It was just this video is. They basically should have prefaced this video was brought to you by Disney. It's just it kind of felt disingenuous, and then that was a huge refreshing thing to see is as somebody who's so honest about it and can risk not being in the good graces of Lucasfilm, you know, for that. And it was just kind of a bummer. You know what I mean? It was a bummer not to be able to see as much genuine reaction to this as I thought. And when I discovered Jeremy, it was great. And a few months go by, and you know, there were a couple Twitter personalities that already, mostly inanimate objects and whatnot, like Jeremy's hat, Jeremy's YouTube notifications, and Jeremy's copy of Mario Kart with a C. Just to name a few, Jesse Milestone's hair was one of the first parody accounts.
Just for everybody to know, please don't make Jeremy's virginity an account.
No. I mean, no one's stopping you, but I wouldn't recommend. Do what you want. It's whatever. I had nothing to do with it though. But yeah,
we'll
basically
blaming someone.
I'm gonna save the whole explanation for how I made Proper Jeremy in a video that's going to be put out next week on Monday or Tuesday. So look forward to that. And
done.
Yep. And I'm going to be on World Class Bullshitters with Sketch Therapy, aka Puerto Rican Jeremy, and I really look forward to that. We're going to be watching fan films, Star Wars fan films, and including Star Wars Theory's Vader fan film, which I'm really looking forward to.
Yes.
You know, his initial reaction, and I'm very excited about that. And I got a few other you know, fun videos. I'm gonna be commenting on pop culture and making fun of videos, both in a proper way, like how Proper Jeremy would do it, to being a complete shill. And if it really pisses me off, I'll just go full improper Jeremy and just go after it, because that has happened a few times when I was really frustrated about things. And when that happens, I simply cannot just stay in this proper voice and speaking in the third person all the time, because that just gets annoying.
It would take a little editing, but you could argue with yourself. You could like Jeremy and Proper Jeremy and just argue with yourself and just play devil's advocate to yourself.
That would be a pretty good idea. Yeah, a lot of things to think about. One thing I wanted
to be big on the TikTok. Yes,
definitely, and I would.
I'm actually on TikTok.
Oh God, no!
TikTok. I mean, TikTok parodies are amazing. That's all I'm saying.
Too old. I'm too old. I think there's an age limit. I'm past it.
A friend of mine, he took this clip. I recorded myself miming to Mariah Carey, All I Want for Christmas Is You last year. And my friend uploaded it to TikTok yesterday.
Oh, I gotta look at that.
And the last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give a shout out to just a few of the YouTubers and some friends of mine who I've met over the last year, and I've discovered and I've been able to talk to and interact with this whole community. People like. Just give a shout out to, and if I miss somebody, dude, please forgive me. I'm trying to, do this, from the top of my head as best as I can. I'd like to give a shout out to the DJD show, who is here with us, Mr. Peabody and superfan Adam Shawhan, for basically convincing me that, you should have a show. Why doesn't this guy have a show? Several months ago. Because he thought it'd be really funny. DJ, would you like to explain it?
Well, pretty much. He was like, I don't know if it's a good idea. Are people gonna like me? But I'm a parody account, and we're like talking to all three of us, saying, "Yes, it's probably a good idea. You're mildly entertaining. You make people laugh, and you can actually talk for a few seconds. So maybe you should do this." And Frank says what he says in a quite insulting fashion. He's like, "Roo, roo, 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 roo." And then pretty much Mr. Peabody says, "Well, I think that might be a good idea. You should go do that." So pretty much we convince him, and then he finally does make a video or two, and then that obviously leads to this fun day today and the previous fun engagements with the YouTube. Yeah.
Yes, indeed, and I gotta thank you guys for that, and specifically you guys, because you guys did really convince me to actually, and you brought me on your show, and you've been having me on as a regular, and then I ended up meeting the Rookie Critic. We were talking a little bit, and I was on his stream, and I was late too, so it's okay, Lethal. We both, it both happens, it happens to all of us, but. Yeah, and was on the Rookie Critics channel, and like over the last couple of months, I've been on several live streams and different channels, like on Bonnie's stream and Mary's stream, and Black Angus Reviews, and of course, I can't forget Sith Kryptonian.
Pringles.
Yeah, yeah. But on the Senate streams, and I got to meet with them, and they invited me to the Senate. And there was a video a couple of months ago where on one of them Sith had dropped out on his Google Hangout, and it ended the stream. So he's literally kicked from his own stream. And then they had another one, and I was back, and then they said like, "Oh, Proper Jeremy's already back. He's our new diehard fan." And that new diehard fan eventually became a part of the actual Senate. It's kind of cool, and I'd like to give a shout out to everybody who's in the Senate, the Sith Kryptonian, of course, Kester, 3PO, Drunk 3PO, Matt Vader, Salty Nerd Podcast, Myth is in there, Roger, of course, and his frighteningly traumatizing laugh that he has, his trademark laugh. And Lethal Lightning, of course, he's had me on the show a few times. He's always great, even if he's late. And of course, I want to give a shout out to Reviews for You. Craig has been having some issues lately, so I don't have the link to his page, his fundraising page for his surgeries. He had like a couple brain surgeries, so we hope he gets well and he keeps himself healthy. And yeah, just gets. He had a video the other day, didn't he? I think so. Yeah. So he's doing a lot better.
He's getting a little better. Yeah.
And
I think he might be making videos hopefully next week.
Those are tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm really happy about that. And I'd like to give a shout out to my friends in the war campaign, Fedorable the Horrible, and of course, I want to give a shout out to a few more people, Black Angus Reviews, Overlord DVD, aka Doomcock, John Talks, Ivan Ortega, Stephanie B, and Tina Beeb from the Valkyrie, of course, Odin's movie blog. He can't really work. He has a hard time working with me, but you know what? That's okay.
Amazing Odin's movie blog. Yeah.
He is fantastic. That Star Wars Girl, Jesse Milestone, SC Reviews, Mecharanda, Midnight's Edge, that's Newsstand, and of course, we cannot forget Comic Artist Pro Secrets, World Class Bullshitters, and the man, the myth, the legend, the guy, the reason why we are having a Council of Jeremy's right now. Geeks and
bless you,
gamers, and God bless you, Lethal Lightning. God bless everybody on this panel. I want to thank you all for joining me today. It turned out It turned out all right, I think. Yeah. And I'd like to thank everybody who is in the chat, everybody who likes, subscribes, and continues to watch and be entertained. And I am just going to keep on doing this as long as I enjoy it. Right now, I'm loving the hell out of this, and I'm so thankful to everybody in the fandom, menace, in the fandom collective. Speaking of which, shout out to Flipped Out and Jeff the Iron Wolf as well. And thank you to everybody, and thank you to Star Wars for Life, and of course Caitlin, the Keeper of Jeremy's, who's really just been the best with keeping track of all 220 some Jeremys. And on that note,
thank you for having us, man.
Absolutely,
good moderator.
Yeah, man.
Here.
I appreciate
find this
that.
enjoyable and fun. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And you're all welcome back anytime. We're gonna have another Council of Jeremy's in the future. Probably in a month. I think it's great to have a monthly Council of Jeremy's. Maybe we'll have a couple.
I thought we try and rejig the time slightly.
Oh no, it's okay. We'll have one. We'll have you come back to have a redemption, and probably at a better time.
Exactly.
I think you should go for weekly if you can manage it.
Sorry.
Who was speaking?
I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. Yeah, it's all good. James Clark, hey, welcome. Yes, he does karaoke. He's awesome too. And of course, I want to give a shout out to like Bonnie Burgess and Mary Vidales. Of course, they are going to exceed. It's me and Thug Life and Hallmark, or a few of us, we're going to be having streams around this time on Bonnie's channel every Saturday. Our first one's going to be next Saturday. And I'm also going to be on DJ D's show, usually every Friday on Fandom
Fridays,
Friday.
pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, the fun bunch.
Yep, and on Friday nights, the Senate on Sith Kryptonian's channel, I will be on there as well. I'll be having a few videos a week, starting about next week, and doing some I might do a surprise live stream. Who knows? I might just do it out of the blue. So look out for that. Yeah, hit the bell for notifications if you want to join that.
Make sure you tweet it though, because
yes.
notifications. You know how they are.
Oh yeah, definitely. You got to be careful with that. And on that rate, I just want to say thank you to everyone who is a part of this community. You make everyone feel welcome. God bless you all. God bless America. Thank you all for joining us.
And
Good
Ireland.
day to you.